this is the one time where my voice is not going to be the best one on this podcast, and it's fucking pissing me off.
Well, we are dealing with a professional here.
It's ridiculous. I don't.
And
But are we?
Just pull it however you want to.
Don't mock our less than budget recording equipment.
Let me just do a little adjustment here. I don't even know.
Have you ever used one?
There we go.
Wow. Okay.
There it is. Just power your way through it.
You just got angry with that.
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen anybody attack a microphone stand like that before.
I've never wanted to be a microphone stand before.
That wasn't sexual.
Now, this is not to disclose too much information, but I've been around a lot of microphone stands.
Yeah.
Is that what code is? What code is?
A lot of code there.
We should have me a camera in the car. My thing now, my tirade for the past, I don't know, year that we've been doing this is sometimes I'll get done riding, I'll go home, and I live in Brentwood, and then I come back, and by the time I go home and sit for a little bit and come back, traffic has fucked itself.
Yeah.
Like royally.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of it. And that's been my whole tirade. People cannot drive.
Not in this town.
We went to lunch and watched a bunch of idiots do stupid stuff.
My wife and I made a decision not too long ago to not even touch 65.
Really?
We don't touch
It's getting
65
that way.
anymore. It is Russian roulette when you get on 65. And I sound like an old curmudgeon of just like, I'm driving I'm driving like a madman like everybody else, but I just trust me more than I trust everybody else.
I'll raise the ante on this one. 24. I avoid it at all costs.
That place
It's literally like the
Black
movie.
Plague.
I call it the Fast and Furious Highway because literally between like downtown and Bell Road, everybody's got their little souped up Mexican cars and they're just going 9,000 miles an hour.
I used to live right off of where Hickory Hollow was.
Yeah. Bell Road.
Una
Yeah.
Antioch was my exit.
What was it? Una Antioch?
Isn't it Una?
I don't Una.
Una?
Oh,
UNA.
Oh, I thought you meant one.
No, Una.
Oh, yeah, it means one in Spanish.
Come on, if you've been in Antioch,
Uno is one.
Una is the female, I guess. I don't know.
the female Antioch.
Yeah, female. Welcome to Twangtown.
Hi,
I am
kids.
David Tolliver.
And I'm Colt Mirsky.
Tall Brewski.
And today we have with us Storme Warren. Yes.
He's having a lot of fun with our 4 plugins.
Yeah, we have 4 different sounds, so
Yeah, I love
get
it.
used to it.
I think
Yeah.
I have 3, so you guys are doing better.
We don't have a cough button, though. You know why? Because we don't need one. Can you curse on your show?
I can.
'Cause it's
I
satellite?
don't encourage it, but
It's frowned upon.
Yeah, it's nobody really wants you to go off and just drop F-bombs all the time. But if one sneaks out, it's
fine.
It's fine.
It's
The
FCC.
FCC can't touch you now?
No, they never could because I was with SiriusXM for 17 years, and now I'm with the big 615 with Garth, and it's a streaming platform on the TuneIn, so we're not regulated by the FCC rules.
Yeah.
And neither is XM, right?
No.
No,
So, but, it's a family show, so you didn't want to drop too many F-bombs.
fuck you.
This is not a family show, so please let him fly, baby. Come on.
Obviously. It was weird starting to do this thing because we've done, 1,000 episodes now?
Yeah, we're like approaching 50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
50.
it's-
It's close. It's in between.
I've known David long enough that's very right in the margin of error for his.
Yeah. Give it time, it will self-destruct.
Right. It's in the margin of error of his gauging of how things go.
Here comes the Tolliver meltdown. I was apprehensive. I was like, man, I've done a lot of radio stuff with, I
You've done with us.
co-hosted with
I
you
know,
one time.
I know, exactly.
I had torn my Achilles, and of course, it's in the middle of winter, and Stormy calls me and goes, hey, do you want to co-host? And I'm like, sure. So here I am, Hopalong Cassidy on my crutches with a cast on my
But it's
foot.
radio, so who
But it was
cares?
radio. It was great.
We had a blast.
Yeah.
We had a really good time.
I'd be there at 4 a.m.
Of all the guest hosts that we had, I got to say you came in second.
Whoa. You silver medal, David.
But you're on the podium.
I'm the Ryan Lochte of...
But if I tell you who won, you'll understand.
Oh, let's
Who
hear
was it?
Tina Carter.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
right,
Miss
yeah.
Strawberry Wine herself.
Right. And also, I've never, and you and I have been so unfiltered for so long. But I've never met a human being so unfiltered as Dina Carter.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah. There was zero filter.
really?
I love it.
And I'm just like, she told me a story about how she kissed a boy with a huge wad of Hubba Bubba bubble gum in her mouth.
Oh.
Or he did.
Okay.
And then she walked away with it.
Yeah.
And she thought, I am a stud. Who tells that? I don't know. Dina Carter does.
I love it.
I would watch that video of her jumping around on that bed a lot
Yeah, well,
in her boy shorts.
Yeah.
can we
Yeah.
just do a shout out to Dina Carter because
Yes.
I love her.
Hello,
Yeah.
Dina.
Hello, Dina.
I had such a crush on you for so long.
I know we all do. We all still do.
do. Yeah. Dina's awesome.
My wife rolls her eyes when I say, "Oh, I'm going to go see Dina Carter." She goes,
Storme. Not again.
You're born in Cincinnati, right?
"Born in Cincinnati, lived there for not long enough to even call it home."
Yeah. Like Tom Cruise.
yeah.
You're basically the Tom Cruise of radio.
Okay.
Well, he was
Hey.
born in Cincinnati, didn't really live there.
Okay.
The looks, not the mental stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
I just I moved.
And you run a lot.
Tom,
Tom runs in every movie if you haven't noticed.
that's a whole other. I'll go on that tangent for like an hour.
That's fine.
Because I might be, as much as I'm a Dina Carter freak, I am a Tom Cruise fanatic.
Are you really?
Absolutely
Dude
a Tom
does
Cruise
not
fanatic.
make a bad
No,
action
it
movie.
doesn't. And Maverick. How many times have you watched Maverick?
10,000.
I'm up at 10,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
I watched the new one
I watch
many,
it every
many
flight.
times.
Every
Yeah.
flight I'm on, I watch
Yeah.
Maverick.
Really?
And it's just a perfect movie. And people go, it's stupid. It's just formula. And I said, exactly. It's exactly what you want it to be. And I'm going to show you guys when we get off the air. There is a great side-by-side video of a guy on TikTok that went, let me tell you why Maverick is nothing other than a recreation of Star Wars.
Okay.
Oh,
And
boy.
when I show this to you, you're going to freak out.
Oh, no.
No, it's so ridiculous. And I'm a Star Wars freak, so
Yeah.
that's why I love Maverick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
And Tom Cruise. by the
And
way.
it's not CGI. I mean, those guys were really flying in
Tom was
airplanes.
flying a plane.
He does everything.
he was
Dude,
frying a plane.
Flying a plane.
Oh,
I don't know when this is going to air, but he's closing out the Olympics by jumping out of a freaking helicopter.
is he really?
Yes.
I didn't know
Yes.
that.
And he's
Yes.
going to end up somehow in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a magician too now.
Tom can do whatever he wants.
Tom, dude, he does not. I mean, the Mission Impossible movies, the fucking even the Jack Reacher. Oh, he's so
Yeah.
short, but he's such a good. He's that dude.
I go back to shoot. Why am I blanking on
Minority
it?
Report.
No,
I got all
no.
these.
Way back when. But why am
Risky
I?
Business.
No, go back.
Top Gun.
Don't go back.
Outsiders.
Legend.
Well, I loved Outsiders.
Legend.
I've interviewed almost every cast member of Outsiders except for Patrick Swayze.
Oh.
Well,
and that's not going to happen.
unless you have a heater.
Why
and
am
some
I
smelling
blanking on
salts.
my favorite football movie of all?
All the right moves.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So, I mean, the running scene in that, that's
Yeah.
why I could go on for hours about Tom Cruise running, because it's like, here it comes.
Yes.
And it's always the desperation run to either get the girl, to get away from the guy,
Well, he did
to
it
get
in
the
Maverick,
guy.
too.
It
When
does,
he's running
right through the forest.
Rooster.
Yeah, which
He's
is run to
upright.
Rooster.
He's very upright when he runs.
But
too.
he's got a beautiful run.
He does have a.
He does it a
beautiful run.
lot. He's worked on that gate.
Yes.
He's got a beautiful run, but
He has a
when-
little gait.
He's a short guy.
Come on, favorite line from All the Right Moves? You're just a typing teacher. Oh my god, I love that line so much. Is this the way this is going to go? We're just going to go on random tangents
Yes.
for okay. Go.
And we're going to
God.
learn about you along the way.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
There's no structure.
This is like my favorite kind of conversation because I'm a very ADD squirrel guy. So just keep going.
Welcome.
And there's your
No, I know,
ADD
I know my
teammate.
spirit
That's why
out
we get
animal here.
That's why we get along
And if
so
you-
well.
are you the grounder then?
I try and crack the whip as much as I can, but
God.
also not going to stop.
By the way,
great
I love
things.
you. Cool.
Yes, I love you, Stormy.
No, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Y'all want to hug laying down?
Well, it wouldn't be a first for us,
It
David.
would not be a first for us. I've spent many a night when the world was cold. Oh, Stormy would warm it up for me.
Hot and stormy.
You have to be naked. That's the only way to exchange some body heat.
I mean, God rest his soul. We learned from the best Troy Gentry, you know.
Well, and Rob Baronis.
And Rob Baronis, yeah.
Why do we have so many dead people in our life?
I don't know. Wow. Yeah.
Or not in our life.
Or not.
Oh, okay. There it is.
Rob was. Did that even warrant that?
No.
It felt
We're
right.
talking about the
You're
late,
laughing about
great
our dead
people.
friends, so, you know, I'm going to give it a rim shot.
No, they're laughing their asses off.
Rob would be
at us.
doing the same thing if he was here right now.
He would never talk
I've
seriously.
never cared about someone and wanted to just maim someone.
Colt, I don't know if you've ever been around the two of them together, but they're so identical, especially at the time frame they were hanging out, that it was the most dysfunctional friendship.
I wanted to kill him.
He wanted to kill you. No, he just wanted to be loved.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be loved.
We went to, I've told this story before.
By the way, this is the kicker for the Titans,
Yes.
number 2, Robbie B. And shout out to his parents, by the way, who are probably going to find this.
She will definitely find it.
And will definitely find this.
And will find it, and she will. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So we went to Vegas. I'm not Vegas. New Orleans. Went to the Final Four.
The other Vegas. Yeah.
The other Vegas. The South Vegas.
This is a great story.
We went to the Final Four, and we took our tour bus down. It was me and Chad, Rob Baronis, and a couple other friends. And good God. So I'd hung out with Rob a bit, and, you know, we were friends. But he had gotten on this workout program and this supplement called Spark.
Oh, yeah.
Which was basically liquid cocaine.
I had a lot
crack.
of friends.
It was crack.
Yeah.
And he turned on Chad. It's when Chad and I
know some other people who have done that, by the way. It's not conducive to a healthy behavior.
No.
Just not, by the way. Just a little PSA for anybody who wants to try Spark.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah. I don't even know if you can find it anymore.
I think they outlawed it. I think it's a Schedule II narcotic now.
I know a particular person who works a lot up and down Music Row who has a stockpile of it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that makes total sense.
Spark hoarder. Let's go.
But he would drink this not constantly. He was doing hot yoga. He got new teeth. He had the big old chiclet teeth. They were white as snow.
And he was too skinny.
But he turned on Chad's Rain on the Roof and played it over.
But it was a good song.
And it was a good song.
It was a really good song.
It's like
the 500th time on this bus
It's
ride.
like the What's Up Pussycat bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
So we're on the way to New Orleans, and he plays this damn thing till 5
By the way, Rain on the Roof is a really freaking good song.
Wow. Is it?
I just want to just
reiterate.
Yeah.
It's not good enough to warrant this. But that was the start of the trip. He played it at least 60 times on the way down, over and over again, until 5 or 6 in the morning. I don't think he slept the whole time. He would walk around with a tube of KY jelly in his hand, and he would squirt it. And he would shake random people's hands. Hi, I'm Rob Baronis.
I remember you telling me that, and you're like, I've never been more embarrassed in my entire life.
I never have. We went,
and you're not even the guy who gets embarrassed.
No, and he and I went. We
almost killed each other on the bus.
We did. That's the trip home.
Yeah.
So.
This is the part I remember.
We went to have a shower. We had a cleanup room.
I guess
so
you won.
We went. Wow. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Bobby.
Only because he's laughing his ass off when we say this stuff.
We went to the hotel room. Me and him took our suitcases up to shower. It was like, you two go, we'll two go, in shifts.
I don't like where this story's going.
Dude, I went and got in the shower.
No, this is David. This is normal.
I went and got in the shower and went and got in the shower. Rob was in there watching TV. I mean, I'm in there 15, 20 minutes max, and I'm done. And I come out and I'm putting my clothes on and close my stuff up. Rob goes, takes a shower. We go back downstairs to the bar, and he's just laughing his ass off. I'm like, what? He goes, of course, he's got his jersey on that he signed himself.
Yeah.
His number 2 jersey with Rob Baronis signed on it. He's wearing that in the bar.
He's a big fan.
Big fan of himself. He's laughing his ass off looking at his phone. I'm like, what? And he turns his phone around and he has taken the clothes out of my suitcase while I was in the shower and gotten the hotel staff to try on my clothes.
What?
And he's taking pictures of the maids with my clothes on.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's just so. I mean, I'm in there 20 minutes.
How much do you think he had to pay them to do that?
I don't. He can talk anyone into anything.
No.
It was just
He's
Rob.
never paid anybody to do anything. He can convince anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He was just. I thought the biggest loss of losing Rob Baronis as a kicker and as an athlete was just losing him as just a people person.
Yeah.
He was such a connector and a networker, and he wanted to be just a part of this town and part of. I thought he actually eventually would become a very successful publisher, or music, something involved in this industry in this town. But he was such a great person, and he just loved every room he walked into.
And we give him a lot of shit, and we had a contentious relationship.
And he would give himself.
He was the kind. He would push you right to the edge, and then push you over the edge, and then catch you when you fail,
and then just love you.
Yeah, and then just love you. But on the way back, I mean.
Colt, this is the story.
This is where the fun begins.
I went after him.
That was a long setup for this part of the story.
I went after him, and we ended up getting separated. And Josh and I are in the back of the bus, and I'm like, I just want to I want to hurt him to where he can still kick, but I want to hurt him. I'll break his arm or something. Just like, I can't do it anymore. And if we get home, and he sends this huge text to everyone on the bus, and it starts out like, hey guys, I just want, I've heard some stuff. I just want to, I've been told that I was a dick, and, I had, blah, blah, blah. It sounds like an apology going down. He goes, I just, I want to tell you guys, and he skips and he goes, fuck you. And that's when I fell in love with Rob Baronis. Because I was like, you know what? I get it. I understand him. He wins.
And he always has. And just, hey, shout out to Robbie B.
Yeah. I wouldn't have met Jenna if it hadn't been for Rob.
Right.
He brought us together.
That's how I
in a weird roundabout
That's how
way.
I met Jenna.
Yeah. She was she lived with him and Rachel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
another story.
Oh God, so many stories.
Can we just not?
No, we're not doing that.
Okay,
but
thank you.
That's how I met.
Right over that one.
That's how I met Jenna.
Wow, you just put me in a dark spot just now with that. Thank you.
That was her nickname in high school.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, man. Anyway, so you went to, where'd you go? Cal State?
Well, yeah. So I moved from Cincinnati to outside of Boston, Massachusetts.
Where's that?
It's on the northeast side of the country.
California?
Is the eastern side of the thing.
Like Western Virginia?
No, Eastern Virginia.
Oh, East America.
Yes. And lived outside of Boston for 7 years. And that was really cool.
What were you doing?
I was a kid. So I was just a kid and moved when I was 10. But I loved growing up there. We were in the woods in... you hear what's the song, Stick Season or Season in the Sticks, the Noah Kahn song? Do you know that song?
I don't know that song. I'm sorry.
What words are you using right now?
Noah Kahn, one of my favorite singer-songwriters
it sounds like a comic book
Season
series.
in the Sticks is what it is.
Okay.
And he sings about just wintertime up in the Northeast. And that's my vision of growing up there as a kid from 3 to 10.
Yeah.
So then we uproot. My parents moved. My dad was a lawyer, and he worked construction jobs where he was the lawyer overseeing the whole thing. And each construction job lasted about 4 to 7 years. So we moved every 4 to 7 years based on wherever the job was. And we moved from Boston to Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where my mom and dad were both born and raised.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And we moved in. This is crazy. We moved in to my parents' very first house that they had after they got married.
No way.
How did that happen?
My grandparents still owned it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And they rented it out or whatever. And then they ended up moving back into, like, decades later. Yeah. And they ended up moving back into the original house that they moved into when they were first married.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody goes, where's home? Because I moved around a lot. I call home where you went through puberty.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's the most impressionable time of your life.
Self-pleasuring.
You know, there's a lot of things that are happening during that time.
Pole vaulting. I don't know.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's a lot of growing
up. A lot of growing up.
There's a lot of things going up.
So hard for me not to say other things.
You had to say hard. And we're off the rails, but I love it.
No, it's great. But yeah, and so Oklahoma has always been home, and it always still feels like home. I go back all the time, and I love going back to Oklahoma.
And that's where your delusion for Oklahoma State sports comes from.
My dad played there. I went to he
Played in the band, or
You know what? Lighten up, you cynical bastard.
Kentucky.
Yeah. And we actually had a father that would take us to football games as a small child.
So you're saying my dad just beating me wasn't good enough?
That's what, well, it explains a lot.
That's a different form of affection.
He really loved us. He loved me enough to hurt me.
Well, Storme, if you're uncomfortable, please get yourself comfortable with the pillows and stuff.
I'm comfortable.
Oh, God.
Yeah, comfortable. Here, let me move.
Did you look at the pillows?
Yeah, fuck you.
Those are my Texas Longhorn pillows.
And by the way, good luck.
In the SEC?
Hey, we'll see.
I've already told him it's going to be a rude awakening.
This is not going to be a pleasant experience.
It might be, but we'll see.
It's not going to be a pleasant
We'll see what
experience.
happens. I mean, we made it to the
I'm not going to
playoffs.
say that you're not going to be successful in the SEC. I think there's just a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, it's...
Hey, but that being said, does that make you guys top dogs of the Big 12 now?
Is there even a Big 12?
They're calling Utah. They're calling Utah to take the Big 12, but Oklahoma State to come in second. I think Oklahoma State, if we beat, I'm going to that game, to the Utah game.
Are you going to the Mormons? Are you going to, is it in Utah?
No, it's in Oklahoma. Why would I go to,
What if the game was in Utah?
Well, I've been to Boise State, and I've been to...
Boise State's not Utah.
It's Idaho. It's another state, David.
Yeah, it's complete state.
Yes, thank you. Wow, we've covered a lot of geography in this podcast.
Yeah.
That's about all the geography David knows.
Yeah. David knows dump truck.
you know, Kentucky is the USA.
Yeah. Kentucky's America.
Kentucky is the USA.
Is it?
It's blue.
Is it because it's a Commonwealth?
Huh? It is.
No.
Can I make a random prediction?
Yeah.
And you can shoot me down, which you will.
Sure,
which you will.
Maybe. I don't know.
People ask me all the time. It's like when Nashville exploded and turned into its little shit show that it's doing.
That's such a great way to explain it.
It's a great analogy.
But I don't want to trash it. It's just it is. It's just
a shit show.
And they'll regroup. They're going through growing pains, and we're going to be fine. So what are the other towns that are going to be next? And people always ask me, and I have two towns, and one of them is Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, I hope it explodes.
I think it is.
In not the good way. I despise that town.
Why?
Well, it has the dumbest university in the history of mankind, for one. And the way the city's set up is just moronical. You like Louisville? I think we should dam the Ohio on either side and run the Ohio River under it and give it to Indiana. That's how much I despise Louisville.
Now there was a geography lesson there.
Right?
I grew up a Kentucky fan,
I know.
and Louisville hates us. So
Well, forget about the university. I just like the city.
Why?
I just do. I like what they're doing in downtown. I think it's got promise. The other town is Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis is a great town.
Great city.
Yeah.
Love St. Elmo's.
Oh, God.
Yeah, love it.
Capitol Grill, St. Elmo's.
Big fan of Indianapolis. It's so far away from Bloomington that it's fine. You know? I define all of my dislikes for cities, as you can see, based on Kentucky basketball. Based on Kentucky basketball.
And John Mellencamp.
And John's, that was one of my idols growing up. I didn't realize he was so short either.
Okay, I'm going to, this might be the most tangented conversation I've ever had in my life. This is great. So, John Mellencamp's dad, have you ever met him?
No.
He's exactly John Mellencamp. I mean, exactly.
Really?
John Mellencamp. But he's like almost 90-something plus years old now. Yeah. and he still thinks he's John Mellencamp.
Really?
And
is his name John too?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
But
George.
So I met his grandson, Hud, who's on the new show on reality TV called Claim to Fame.
Did you say HUD?
HUD.
Humanistic Underground Dwellers?
I don't know if that's the acronym, but
Oh, no, it's CHUD, Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers, the movie.
What the?
It's that movie from the 80s, CHUD. Look it up. Go ahead, Stormy.
Stormy doesn't know it either.
HUD. Yeah.
And I said, "How's your grandpa doing?" He was like, "Oh my God." I said, "I swear to God, I thought he'd slow down when he got into his 90s. He is still pulling more."
Oh,
shit.
Yep.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our first sponsor. If you feel like you need to have a good night and things aren't looking up, reach for your Viagra. Viagra, the little blue pill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's our faux sponsor of the podcast.
You know, John Mellencamp, the first time I met him was at Farm Aid in, ironically, Louisville, Kentucky. And I go up to him and I said, "Hey, I'm Stormy. I was working with TuneIn, the Nashville network at the time."
I wanted to get to that.
We'll get to that. And that's where we first hooked up. And
sexy.
Yeah. And literally and figuratively.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
figuratively.
The whole horizontal laying down bit. Yeah.
God. This is not doing well for my flawless reputation.
This will be a tarnish on your career right here.
Pal.
You can immediately regret doing this as soon as you walk out.
Not at all. I love you guys. So I walk in backstage and I see John Mellencamp. I'm like, I got to get an interview with him. He's one of the founding guys of Farm Aid. So I walk up to him and I said, "Hey, do you mind just me giving you a few questions?" And he goes, "Yeah." I do mind. Do mind. And he turned around and goes, "I hate those fucking assholes." As he walked off.
Really?
That was my very first interaction with John Mellencamp.
I mean, you kind of had to expect that from him, right?
I did
a little bit. No,
I didn't.
Not at all.
But now I've always expected it. And the thing is, he's gotten better over the years. And we've actually had some really great times and great conversations and great interviews and he's actually a wonderful entertainer and songwriter, obviously, and performer, and he's a great guy. But man, that first run-in was brutal.
Did you tell him how he treated? And he's like,
he goes, "I don't remember that."
Well, that's the other thing too.
Of course,
you never know what's going through people's head at the time.
Yeah,
and that's what I'll tell you about famous people. For one, not that I've ever been one, but they have bad days too.
Close.
I was very close.
You tried real hard.
I tried like at a sophomore level. They have bad days. You never know what's going to happen to them. So give a celebrities a break every once in a while. Now, if it's more than once and you hear it from a lot of people, then they're an asshole.
I have another theory on that.
Go ahead, talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me, Rooster.
I don't think celebrities, actors, maybe. Music people with a built-in fan base that they're interactive with all the time.
Yeah,
I don't, and then I'm going to get killed for this.
Oh, you're
going
to get slaughtered for this.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
but I don't think they have the luxury of not treating people well.
There's a difference. Treating people well is not a whole different thing. I mean, you can politely. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody being a complete dick to you.
Okay, that's where I thought. Well,
no.
John Mellencamp was a dick to me.
That's a pretty big dick move right there. Right. But I find sometimes we put people on put celebrities on such a high pedestal that it's like you can't.
But you walked into that business. That's why you are a part of that business. You wanted to be on that pedestal.
I agree with that.
So if you wanted to be on the pedestal, how do you have the right to bitch about it?
But I'm also saying that they are human beings, and you have to take in the human factor sometimes and not make them a god in your eyes,
That's part of it, though.
Yeah. We're not going to disagree on this.
No, we're going to always disagree.
We're going to always disagree on this.
I'm very firm on my stance on this and it's just.
How do you feel about Mormon underpants?
I have no knowledge, so I'm going to.
Right. That's fine.
Yeah, I just learned about this a few months ago.
I
didn't even know that was a thing.
What is the
Do you
thing?
have you don't know?
No, that's why I'm saying I'm claiming no knowledge here.
Like when they go into the main temple, they have to wear certain underpants. There's specific underpants they have to wear.
Yeah.
Issued by the church.
What are they?
They're I don't know if they're all the same. The ones I've seen are like really plain and brown, like cover the men.
It's like a 1950s style pajama.
Yeah, but no, it's like big granny underwear.
Like a loincloth or
No. It has a picture of Joseph Smith on the crotch holding the tablets from 1954.
Have you seen Book of Mormon?
No.
Oh, it's so.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's so great.
And if Mormons
So
would listen to this, it's fine.
No,
You're
it's fine.
They're some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
basically because I'm white.
We're not trashing Mormons.
No, not at all.
We're actually going. You guys are cool. You just got some interesting things.
Yeah.
Hey, I grew up bouncing around a number of religions. I'm not judging anybody.
Not at all. I grew up a Baptist. We're the most hateful people in the world.
So judgy.
And liars.
I mean, my preacher growing up slept with everyone in the congregation.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Right.
So
that's what I mean. It's like, God, what is the phrase? I can't remember it now, but you.
Hypocritical.
Well, yes, that was. I was going for the phrase that matched that, but there's actually. Yes.
I was going for the intellectual one.
Yeah.
But
And you threw out the common.
Pow.
Well, so California. When did you get there?
By the way, it's Colt Mirsky and David Tolliver and Storme Warren here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great.
Did you
We're on Twangtown right here.
We're on the Twangtown podcast.
Did you think that people were going to forget what they were listening to?
You got to reset.
Yeah.
Oh.
He works in radio.
Whoa.
There was no commercial break, but in Stormy's mind.
Welcome back to Twangtown.
15 minutes went by. It's
Do you
time
not
for
know
that
the rule
commercial
of
reset.
resetting?
I don't know this rule. I've worked in radio except for with you I got fired.
other times.
I got fired.
He had one day on the job and got fired.
I got fired as a DJ in Hindman, Kentucky at 107.1 WKCB. 100,000 watts of power. I was a DJ for like a day.
Got excited.
And they were an adult contemporary station.
It's so weird to be on this side of an interview, by the way.
Well, I'm glad you are.
I know, it's so weird.
And
You can see how unprofessional other people really are.
I mean, fuck.
Stormy's like, oh, I'm good. I've got a real secure gig because these morons aren't even going to get close to touching me.
No, it's just interesting. It's just a different perspective. I love this.
I'll continue my story whenever y'all are done.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're ready, I think. Yeah.
And then the priest walked in and said, "Hey, grab your knees." I don't know. It's not even good anymore. The story's not good.
Were you telling a story?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got fired from being a DJ because they had a program list and I didn't follow it. I played like
well,
Bill
that'll do
DeVoe
it.
and Ralph Tresvant.
I got a call from my program director. I was 14 years old, my first radio job.
Where was that?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Gosh, you're like Bobby Tomberlin. Do you know Bobby?
Yeah, well, I know who he is.
Yeah, he's one of our
I
writers.
wrote
And
One More Day.
he's first radio gig at like 12 in Luverne, Alabama.
Luverne, Alabama.
Yeah, it was a weird deal. And I went on a 7th grade field trip to a radio station in Tulsa and never looked back.
Wow, that's
I just
amazing.
went,
So that was what got you. That was that bit you.
I was so obsessed with radio and music all growing up. And I was the kid with the transistor radio underneath my pillow going to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I loved the music, but I was listening for the people talking.
You wanted to talk like the man on the 6 o'clock news.
It's like I needed to know because how did they gain this knowledge? Why do they know so much?
Yeah.
How do they, and I just wanted to be a part of that.
Now, because you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful voice.
It wasn't that way at 14.
I was going to say, did
I
it,
have an air check. I'll share it with you at some point.
yes.
Yeah.
I just wonder, because a lot of dudes, I mean, you listen to some of the greats and their voices, they would have to sculpt. I'm sure you'd have to sculpt them. It's like any art form.
And I don't think you
Did it take listening to yourself over and over again?
I think it's just wearing earphones.
Yeah.
And it's not consciously listening to yourself. It's just always having that voice in your head
Gotcha.
of yourself that just it sculpts it for you.
Do you think you can help?
I don't think I ever actively tried to change my voice. I think it just was just by repetition.
Gotcha.
It's not even the voice; it's like the canter and the phrasing, and it's very. I feel like just the way I talk and normal is just kind of normal. But
you sound
you've
you
got
sound
that,
stupid.
Yes, I'm so
Colt.
I sound terrible.
Colt, you don't sound stupid.
But like
you
radio people.
I want to be a compassionate.
Well, I appreciate
supportive.
I love Storme Warren. I hate David Thomas.
Stormy's been wrong this whole podcast.
But people like yourself who are on like television or radio have like a way of speaking. Like there's a rhythm and a flow as well as the voice.
It's almost poetry.
But it's habit. It's the same way. I've written maybe 7 songs in my entire life.
Really?
I didn't know this about you.
But I don't know how to write a song. But I've written 7 songs, and the whole process.
David doesn't know.
Can I have one of those?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know. You signed me as a writer.
It was an accident.
Oh. I meant Tony Tolliver.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Come on. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. But 7 songs that I've written, I would never call myself a songwriter because I'm not.
Oh.
And what it is, the same deal, I think, was what you're getting. The roundabout way to get to is that it takes just repetition of doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again to get a rhythm of what works, what doesn't.
Sure.
And not to say it's formulaic, but in a hit town it can be formulaic, but also just knowing what needs to be said and what doesn't need to be said, and knowing that nuance. And I think that's the same thing with me with what I do behind a microphone.
Sure.
But I'm absolutely obsessed with songwriters.
Oh, they're the best.
Yeah.
Except for David. I love you. Stop it.
And you know what? David's not bad.
He's really good. He's really good. If you just don't tell him, he's good.
No, I know.
In a world.
In a world.
One man writes songs no one will ever hear. Speaking of Tom Cruise, him as Les in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, gosh.
Brilliant.
Was probably one of his best roles ever.
With the Flo Rida song at the end. The Flo Rida dance at the end.
He was all just so different.
Hobo's Dick Cheese. It was.
I mean, how many people didn't even realize that was Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't.
Well, and then when you realize it, then you go, oh, yeah, it's Tom Cruise.
I will murder you. What is going on?
How about that's just actually one of the best movies ever made in like the last 20 years?
Even
that could never be released.
Could never be remade.
No.
Ever
actually,
again.
I think Joe Rogan interviewed, what's his face? Robert
Downey Jr.
And he was like, do you think this movie, you could make this movie today? And Robert was like, you could make it. Like, I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day.
Okay, Robert Downey Jr. story.
Go ahead. Oh, please.
So I was in a group in L.A. when I lived in L.A. called Young Artists United.
Oh.
And it was a philanthropy group of young actors and Hollywood people that were, and I was working at CNN and pirate radio at the time, so I felt, yeah, I'm in the business.
Kind of a big deal.
I'm a big deal. I'm 18 years old. I'm in. I'm so in. So I joined this group, and I'm like, oh my God. And there were some big actors. Now, some that I can't even remember their names, but at the time, Doogie Howser's best friend on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that guy.
But they're all recognizable and big.
You're from that thing.
Yeah, you're from
Those guys.
all of those people in that era too.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of freaking out as a fan guy and also feeling, do I belong? And it was a weird dynamic.
Little imposter syndrome going on.
Total. And I still have it to this day, but that's another deeper cathartic talk. We'll get into that later. But Robert Downey Jr. was one of the heads of the board of directors of this organization.
Oh, wow.
Now is this? Oh yeah, this is that Robert Downey?
Oh yeah, it was 100%. It was pre-disaster, but it was on its way.
It was coming in hot.
It was very apparent. This is what I've always said about John Rich of Big and Rich. I've always said, he's going to go 110 miles an hour in a Ferrari, and if he's going to hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't kill him, he just might learn something. And
Right.
it's like, and I said that about Robert. It's like, that's just, hey, you were there too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
we've all been there. I'm there. I did it. You know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, it does take the wake up call.
Yeah,
at
it's
some
like,
point.
hey, maybe you should stop doing that. Hey, God's up there going, I'm going to give him one more chance.
And then what do you do down here going, please give me a sign? He's like, really?
How many do you need?
I sent a helicopter.
Yeah, right. That's my favorite joke of all time.
Greatest
Parable joke, whatever you want to call it. So Robert Downey Jr., we're doing a fundraiser for Young Artists United in LA. And it's at the place. This is a great story too, because if we're Tom Cruise fans, one of the greatest movies of all time, Cocktail. I mean, so the stock exchange where he was the bartender and the poet bartender, and he stood on the thing, and the photographer and all that stuff was happening. And Brian Brown they were getting a little
great
tense.
Actor.
Yeah, I love Brian Brown.
Yeah.
Oh God, we could go on a cocktail.
Yes, we could. And, what's her name? The reporter, Gershon. Gina Gershon.
Oh, Gina. That's what I mean, the photographer.
Yes.
Yeah. She
Follow
was
the
great.
story.
Yes. I am.
But who's the lead? The
Elizabeth Shue. Karate Kid.
Stop.
Oh.
Stormy's having
Hollow Man.
I'm having a massive
Leaving
flashback.
Las Vegas.
Stop.
I could go on.
I know, but that movie in particular, I could no. Anyway,
I could go back to my childhood home.
I think it's time for that radio reset.
yeah. Anyway,
Welcome to Twagtown.
Colt and David and Storme. Yeah, we're on Twagtown. So Robert Downey Jr. is hosting this fundraiser at the Stock Exchange, is what the bar was called, where they actually filmed that. And we walk in for a holiday mixer of future young artists. So it was every A, B, and C, and D, and E level actor you've ever seen in your life walking into this club. And I'm walking in going, this is nuts. And then in walks Robert Downey Jr. And he was in a trench coat, and he had all of his minions around him in trench coats. And they just come walking in like a mob. And I just went, oh, this is cool.
Is this real?
And he comes up to me and goes, you work with us, right? I said, yeah. I'm Storme Warren. He goes, yeah, I've heard of you. And I'm like, what?
It's the greatest day of your life.
I know. At 18, 19 years old, it was truly, and I mean, there were no cell phones back then, and so we didn't exchange numbers, but I felt like I had a connection.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was a great.
That's amazing.
It's a great.
I never knew that. You've talked to Robert Downey Jr. I'm so happy. He's Iron Man.
I am too. But it was a wild time. But the imposter syndrome for my entire life has been so real, and then that's a real thing. And I don't want to take that away. I don't want to say it's a mental illness that we need to medicate.
Yeah,
but it's a real thing we need to overcome.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I think it stifles success. I think it stifles creativity. I think it stifles getting to where you want to go because you're holding yourself back, not thinking you're worthy of it.
Right.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, that can be a big hindrance. And you're right. You got to overcome that. But also, I think a little bit of it isn't bad because it kind of helps keep yourself in check a little bit.
Humility.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's my humility quote. You ready?
Yeah.
I wrote it myself.
Okay.
With crayon?
Yes. Yes. Yours. Your crayon.
Did you steal them off licking the window? Oh, God.
I stole your crayon.
What was your humility quote? Sorry.
So, humility is God's greatest gift. If you don't seek it out, it will find you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Tell me I'm wrong on that.
No, not at all.
That's 100% accurate.
Speaking of me,
Yeah.
Speaking of humility.
I'm looking in a mirror here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the reason David and I have been friends. I don't know you as well, Colt. We've known each other, but
Sure.
but I've known this guy. We've gone through hell and back together, and literally, and I know by saying those words that you're seeing what that means.
For sure. I mean, even in my own career, it's just, we came out of Nashville being the thing at the time. It's like, here, we had a bidding war over us between two major record labels.
Still one of my biggest heartbreaks is the lack of success of Halfway to Hazard.
Thank you.
No, I agree. I love you guys. I always have, and I remember seeing
two of
you
the
guys.
most talented individuals.
Oh, yeah.
That
Thank you.
individuals.
Individuals.
A duo that can actually sing well together. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that
haven't
was
seen
an
a lot of that
individual.
lately.
God, no, right. As Montgomery Gentry said, because Troy said this to me, and I said, you guys really, I mean, you guys are going against the grain of what duos do. Usually they end up just imploding. And he goes, it's called a duo.
Right.
Yeah.
So just behave as a duo.
Right.
And you guys had your problems, but
Well, I mean, Chad and I never had problems. It was just we had everything, and I think it's God. I think everything is God's plan, of course.
and I don't want to say problems like I'm not making it a bigger deal than what it was.
No. I mean, there was issues for the whole thing. I mean, in a personal and a professional, everything.
Right.
Life. Everything that could go wrong with that whole thing. Not a lot
And
of
at
it
the
not
same
based
time,
on us.
Cole, while everything was going so right at the same time.
Yeah.
No, the music was there.
Yeah, but I think it's God. He knew that I for sure wasn't ready for that. It's like if I'd gotten what I wanted then, probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
No,
not being in this room, but probably not on this world.
Yeah, you'd be on that John Mellencamp level. Yeah.
I'd be dead. I'd probably be dead.
to go back to the John Rich story.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
But I think everything has happened for a reason. I think I'm here today, happy and healthy, and it's just it's a wonderful life that I've lived, and I look back with no regrets with any of that.
You
and
shouldn't.
The imposter thing. It's like sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll wake up and I'll be like, I don't know if I can write today.
Yeah.
Just because I doubt. I'm like, I don't think I'm good as these guys. And I get in the room and I'm like, I'm pretty good. And then I'm like, oh no, I'm not that good.
Cole, you watch this shit every day. I mean, what do you see when you see a room full of writers with insecurities?
Man, they all have insecurities. And it's,
for sure.
And what's funny is like my role as a music publisher, part of my job, which they don't tell you when you go to school for this, if you did go to school for it like I did. But like,
Where is that school?
it's called Belmont University.
It's about a mile down the road.
And no, stop calling me every year. I already gave you enough money. No, but like literally you're like a therapist or like den mother. Like, and it's in my job, regardless of how old the songwriter is, 22 to 82. I mean, they all have their insecurities. They all don't think they're good enough. They all wonder what's wrong with their songs or them. And so it's always my job to talk them off the ledge or tell them their songs really are great, or, okay, maybe it's not going well today. Let's figure out how we can make it better. And, I didn't go to school for psychology or any of that, but you learn
become one
over the years of doing it. You just kind of learn how to, everybody's different. Like David needs this kind of attention, or Storme needs this kind of attention.
So tell me your thoughts on this theory. Anybody that is in this business, that is striving to be successful in this business, and please shoot holes in my theory.
Okay.
You're either chasing ghosts you're never going to catch, or you're running away from ghosts that you're never going to get away from you.
Yeah.
So profound today.
I'm just saying.
That's a good theory.
It's,
And it could even be a combination of that. A lot of people leave home and everybody's leaving for a different reason.
Right.
Some people are just in a bad situation and maybe they have some talent and they want to come out here, or, someone, like yourself who's just, and I think we all were
I'm
just
not
so
taking
obsessed.
myself out of that.
No, but like we were so obsessed
model,
with
by the
music
way.
our whole life. Like, especially me, I grew up around a musical family and music was so much a part of my life. And then, I moved here in 99 when I was 16. My mom drugged me up here and I knew what music was, but I didn't know about the business of music. And I was not ever talented enough musically to do anything, but I saw the whole business side of it. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then, Belmont offers the music business degree. And I was like, you can get a degree in music business?
Yeah.
So I checked it out and I was like, oh, yeah, that's what I want to do.
You thought you were getting a shortcut.
Right. Yeah. So, no, but that's an interesting theory.
I want to write a book about it because I don't want to. I know we've dropped a lot of names in this thing, but
keep dropping them.
Well, there's some names I would put at the top of that list of people I believe have become, and I don't even have to mention them because you're coming up with them already, who have become mega successful because of the ghosts they're chasing.
Yeah.
They're never going to fill the void in their soul. They're never going to fill that hole. And they're going to keep chasing it and chasing it, hoping there's
look at someone like Ashley Gorley, who's written over 70 number ones.
Yeah, he needs to stop.
But I hear he still writes 2 and 3 songs a day.
What? Quit it.
And it's like this guy can't
Give someone
stop,
else a chance.
Yeah, but like some people, like,
I don't know
no
him
offense,
that
David,
well.
but I think if he wrote 50 number ones, I could see David packing it up, buying his island, wearing his fur coat.
Damn right. I'm
you know what I'm
gone.
saying? And then he'd be like, "Hey guys, it was fun, but adios."
Tomorrow he's gone.
Well, it's what you're talking about. Look, I chased the fame, I chased the money,
Yeah.
I chased everything, and I had all of that for a split second.
Yeah.
I was very, very.
I was there. Every
You were
step
there.
of the way.
You were there, and it still didn't make me happy. And when I realized,
That's
what
what
I'm
you're touching
talking
on.
about.
and when I realized that it's all just a big facade. It's all just manufactured, and the only happiness you're going to get is coming when you're truly happy. When you're inside, when you find
the thing in your soul. And I had to do that. I've done my work. I'm sure you. I don't know if you've done work or
I see a therapist every other week.
Right, and I've done my work, and that's why it's sounding like a therapy session on this podcast right now.
it.
But I always know that I can identify people who have done the work, and it's a beautiful thing when you see people who have done the work.
Yeah,
I get a relief when I see people. It's like.
Thank God you're not that person anymore.
Yeah,
but it's great. But I just think about the journey to get there and that hole in your soul and everything about it. Anyway,
Chuck Hannon said it best. He wrote a song called "God-Shaped Hole."
Yeah.
It's amazing.
God-Shaped hole is amazing.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Steele has got 100 of them just like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so you CNN, Robert Downey Jr. When did you get to TNN? Was that
TNN? Okay, so that was 1993. Charlie Daniels, my idol.
Yeah.
First album I ever owned at 9 years old. Million Mile Reflection with Devil went down to Georgia.
Hank, can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah.
Something that kind of helped me turn shit around in my head. Yeah. And you may not remember saying this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, flashback.
Quite a few years ago, I'd restarted my writing and everything. And Storme at one point looked at me and goes, "You know that Charlie Daniels didn't have his first hit until
he was in his late 40s, early 50s.
Wow.
And that was like, it's not too late.
No.
It's never too late. And I just want to tell you that stuck with me till this day.
Yeah, and he's probably older than that. But he Devil went down to Georgia. He was Bob Dylan's guitar player on Nashville Skyline. And after that session was over, he was a fill-in here in Nashville, and he drove in a car with his wife and his young kid, Charlie Jr., and burned out clutch and $100 in his pocket.
That's so Nashville.
That's
so Nashville.
And he gets a call going, "Hey, oh my God, can you come to the session because Bob Dylan is missing his guitar player. He had to leave." Oh yeah. And he sits in, and after the 4-hour session was over, they had another 4-hour session to go. And Charlie starts packing up his guitar, and Bob Dylan goes, "Where are you going?" He goes, "Well, I'm just hired for the session." He goes, "No, you're in."
Wow.
And I know. Isn't that a great story?
Amazing.
It's such a great story. And so Charlie was my absolute idol. First interview I ever did other than Elvis's stepbrother.
Wow.
Yes.
I
know.
Dewey?
Reverend, whatever his name is. Rick Stanley.
Rick Stanley.
I think that's it. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
God, I'm
I
going
don't
to get
know,
called
but I
out.
love it.
But whoever's listening to this, if I got that wrong,
I'll give it a good.
yeah, give it a Google right now while I'm singing. It's got to be Rick Stanley.
That sounds like
Billy Stanley.
Billy Stanley.
No, there's another one.
Wait,
Billy Stanley is an American author and stepbrother of Elvis Presley.
Yes, but there's another one.
how many stepbrothers did he have?
He had.
Oh, is it from mom or daddy?
I don't know.
David Stanley?
No.
Rick Stanley?
Yes.
Whatever
Rick.
happened to Rick Stanley, Elvis's stepbrother?
That's what I said. It
Rick
was Rick Stanley.
You
I was
got it
correct.
right. You pulled that one out.
He called me on my very first radio show on the request line.
Really?
And it's, hey, it's KELI, 14K, 92K. Can I help you?
There it is.
Yeah, 14K,
got it, baby.
92K. How are you? And he's like, hey, it's Reverend Rick Stanley. I'm like, hi.
Did you know?
No, I didn't know.
Okay.
And
Because
he
I
goes,
wouldn't have known.
No.
But of course, Reverend Rick Stanley was not shy about following up. I'm Reverend Rick Stanley, Elvis's stepbrother.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he goes, I'm doing a sermon and talking at a Lutheran church or whatever church in Tulsa. And hey, can I talk to you about that? I'm like, sure. And we go into this in-depth whole conversation. So that was my first official interview.
Wow.
Okay.
With someone close to celebrity status.
Yeah.
And then Charlie Daniels was my next one.
Wow.
That's amazing. How did that come about?
I asked.
Yeah.
I went to CNN, to the executive producer of their show, Showbiz Today, and I was a cameraman. I was nowhere near a position to be interviewing anybody,
Gotcha.
but I wanted to be. And I said, can I do this? And he goes, here's what I'm going to do. And Bill Northrup, shout out to Bill Northrup, great guy,
Yeah.
executive producer. He said, why don't I give you a cameraman and an editor, and you go out and shoot whatever you want. And if you can put a 2.5, 3 minute story together that we can air on the show, and we like it, we'll give you a chance to do another one.
Awesome.
He goes, or this could be it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so if I was going to have one shot at it, I said, who would I pick? And so I just started thinking, I said, I could go for some random person that was in town doing a whatever festival, and I went, I want Charlie Daniels.
Yeah.
And I looked on the back of my albums, and I found on the back of my albums a contact in Mount Juliet, Tennessee,
Yeah.
and reached out and found a phone number. And this, you couldn't Google that stuff back then.
What year about was
that?
this?
Was 91.
Well, you were in Yellow Pages and shit, right?
Yeah. This is 91.
This is literally like when we were talking to Bobby Tomberlin, because he kind of did the same thing. He would just call up these people and get interviews with them. But it's like, I felt like at that time period, artists were way more accessible, or at least you could get to them easier.
Which is odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
It's so
it should be.
backwards.
It
It's not
should
like
be
they weren't-
easier now.
Yeah.
They weren't that any less famous then. You know?
No, but there was also just this intrigue. I had 3 letters called CNN, and CNN wasn't
Yeah.
whatever. I don't care your political stance. CNN wasn't.
It was a very reputable company.
It was a 100% down the straight line news organization,
Yeah.
and that's all it was. And so when you throw those letters around back then,
Yeah, it's big time.
it had some credibility.
Yeah.
And Paula Zygas, Charlie's publicist, goes, "Oh, CNN? Yeah, we can make this work." And I was very honest, imposter syndrome. I said, "I'm just a cameraman. I'm just trying to."
Did you really?
Oh God.
And she goes, "I love this, and Charlie's gonna love this." And I'm like,
It's the underdog thing though.
"Yeah."
Charlie's a big fan.
So were you still in California at this time?
at the time.
How'd y'all interview?
At the Crazy Horse in Santa Ana, California.
The strip club?
Fred Reiser. No. That's here.
Oh, that's right.
I mean,
Sorry.
I've heard.
yeah. I've never
Allegedly.
seen that more than 10 times. I've never.
My kids, since they were little, drive by that place and goes,
Yeah.
"Hey, Dad, can we pull over?" So the Crazy Horse in Santa Ana, a legend, another dead guy, Fred Reiser, God rest his soul, genius supporter of the Academy of Country Music Awards and country music or whatever. He had a great dance hall in Santa Ana, and Charlie was playing there, and we arranged for that interview to take place.
That's awesome.
And I was scared to death.
How did it go?
Horrible.
No, come on.
No, it was a disaster.
Why?
It was all my fault. It was completely my fault.
So you remember, Charlie, when you played Devil?
No.
That's it.
If you knew how close you were to that
was really
story,
cool.
No,
Remember that time you played Devil Went Down? That was awesome.
I actually said the words reading off a notepad with "You're Charlie. I'm here with a notepad that's blocking your face." I said, "So you play a really good fiddle, right?"
I'm crying. That was amazing.
But to Charlie's credit, he answered the questions like Walter Cronkite or, is 60 Minutes was asking the most in-depth question ever.
That's awesome.
And he answered it. He knew he needed to deliver something that was going to make the air.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so I call them the blah interviews. And blah interviews are, it doesn't matter what you, David, or you, Colt, say. You could just say blah.
Yeah.
And that artist is going to give you everything you need.
Yeah.
They
know what you're looking for, and they spill it out.
You could say, did you hear about that meteor that's about to hit, Western Africa?
Mm-hmm.
And Kenny Rogers would go, that's a great question. The new album comes out on September 26th.
We are such politicians sometimes.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest question you've ever been asked in an interview besides me?
What's your favorite color?
Dump truck. No, I don't remember. I just remember trying to get by the fact that nobody could ever get our name right.
Mm.
Well, welcome to WKIK Highway to Hazard. It's like, fuck. Okay. Here comes Halfway to Heaven. And one time, it was like, and we'd like to welcome Chad Works and Halfway to Hazard here.
And Halfway to Hazard.
What's going on? I was like, what?
Oh, I'm sure you were so pissed.
I was fuming. Chad was laughing his ass off, and I'm over there just about to throw hands on some radio guy.
God, I love that.
It's amazing.
We just got all kind of stupid questions.
So
is Tim McGraw real? Yeah, he's a real person.
So do you get immune to it?
You get in such a formulaic, like when you're doing radio stuff constantly, you know it. You get artists when, constantly coming through your machine.
Yeah.
That we are trained to give such answers. I mean, not trained like they sent us to school for it, but
no, just after repetition. After repetition.
I could be asleep and do a radio interview back in the day, And Chad and I had our banter. It
was a skit.
Chad and I had our banter back and forth, and some people hated it, but it just worked.
I could see you liking that part of it.
David could show off how funny he is.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I know. That's what I mean. It's like
I tell you what, it was to my detriment sometimes. Because some of those guys, they were very, very sensitive about them being the coolest guy in the room or the funniest guy in the room.
You would take it over.
We would take it over.
Little pond syndrome.
And we would leave that radio station, and they would call the label and be like, "Those dudes are assholes."
Well, everybody in the radio industry, I'm not taking anybody in the radio industry out of what we were talking about before, that we're still chasing ghosts.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason you get into this business for any reason whatsoever, whether a music publisher, an artist, or whatever, you are chasing something that's not normal, or you're running away from something that's not normal, and you're trying to fill that hole of whatever that is.
Yeah. Sure.
And if you are normal and you've come into this business in a normal way,
and you're a unicorn,
you're either lying or there's only one of you. You're the unicorn.
But I've met some of my best friends in the world. I mean, you just out of my travels and touring and stuff like that.
I mean, I still remember sitting outside of not Ace Club's 12th and Porter.
12th and Porter.
Oh, geez.
12th is one of your first showcases.
Yeah.
And
oh god, ooh, that place.
I know, but
I know.
Upstairs. Wipe it off.
But I remember that interview. I think it was either you or Chad sent me that video back to me at one point, and I just went, "Oh my god, look at us! We're fucking kids."
Yeah, dude.
Kids.
Well, I remember
kids.
Where were we going that we got a layover in Miami? and we
Key
like went to
West.
we were going to, and we went to the movie or something, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We watched Borat.
We watched Borat.
Yeah.
God, we got stuck there overnight because of the storm.
That's right. We got stuck overnight, and somehow I got high.
Oh, really?
I know, it's really a weird thing.
It's a weird
Just back in the day, he occasionally experimented.
Yeah.
Spontaneously high. Yes.
But we went. It was me and Stormy and Chad and a couple other people. It was like your camera dude at the time.
Yeah, Brett.
Brett. Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, that was such an uncomfortable movie for me. I've never been more uncomfortable in my life.
That is your humor.
Which is so crazy because that's exactly his sense of humor.
Oh my
If
God.
David was going to write a movie, it would be just like that.
It was just. I was like, oh God, it's so uncomfortable.
Probably 'cause
when
you
they're
were
wrestling naked in the room.
But
And
it's so weird because that is exactly him.
Probably because you're so
if
spontaneously
it was
high.
me doing it,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been as bad. I was trying to remember what that was.
God, I forgot we did that layover.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's one of the actual first times we ever hung out.
Hung out. Yeah. We had dinner. We had went to
Yeah.
the movie. We were having lunch, and then we said, "Well, what else are we going to do?
Yeah.
Well, let's go see a movie."
Yeah, Borat. This is a new movie out. We know nothing about it.
And there,
We had no-
shout out to your event that you did the trail ride and the halfway to Hazard.
Thank you.
Amazing fundraiser for
Crockett'sville was
that was a
dude,
magical thing.
You were doing headline country
Yeah,
at this time, and you came. How many years did you come up?
most of them.
Stormy would come up and just ride and interview and drink
and I'd host.
And he was a big integral part of that.
Stormy's
Thank
a great
you for
host.
doing that. He's the best.
He's
host.
the best host.
Yeah.
I know, great host. Stormy, he's the best.
Everyone knows this.
I mean, the year that Tim McGraw flew in on the helicopter is still pretty legendary.
Oh, I didn't get to be there for that one.
No.
David invited me one time. I never got invited back. It's fine.
Wow,
Well, you didn't do anything.
Nope.
You didn't serve a purpose.
you missed a lot of moonshine.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my liver is thankful for it.
God, dude. Yeah, Tim. It was Dirks and Tim were there that year.
Yeah, that was a big year.
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
They were all
because
big years, by the way.
Looking back at it now, like during the day when people would play, it was like the new people, and it was like Lee.
Yeah.
Bryce was up there
But
playing with
they
Brian
all
Davis.
became mega stars as they're on their way up. You know who one of the greatest. Thank you for this introduction to him, by the way. Up there, Dylan Carmichael.
Yeah, dude.
And I just think the world of that guy.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the most talented singers that we have
He's so good.
right now, and great songwriter. I mean, Son of a is still one of the greatest songs I've heard.
He's
in
a
long time.
badass.
Yeah.
Dylan.
But I met him in the back of a bus, your bus,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, who the hell is this guy? And he sang me a song called Two Nights in Tucson. And I went, why isn't this on the radio now? And he was probably 18, 19 years old at the time. And I'm just like, you are a stud.
Yeah.
And now he's coming on.
He got lost.
Yeah.
He and one of our drummer friends who played for us a few times were. I mean, everybody. We had the trail ride, so we would do concert and we'd have trail ride.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
And like,
Oh God, this is funny.
It's getting on nighttime. Like
This is not a young boy's little jaunt through Disneyland trail ride, by the way.
No, I went on it
Yeah,
one time.
he
It's
was
the
there.
real deal. I mean,
it's 40 miles of hard driving, and somehow it's like 3 hours after everybody's in. I'm showered off, I'm fine, and we're like, we can't find Ben and Dylan. And we're like, what?
was it Ben?
No, it was Ben, not Tiny Ben RN. No,
Gary
see
Chapman
Ben.
in his rowboat.
Gary Chapman didn't realize what he was coming to either, and brought one of those six-wheeled submersible vehicles that goes like 2 miles an hour. So he never finished.
No, he's still out there to this day.
Anyway, we get a call, and it's like, hey, we got Dylan and Ben. They're on a rollback truck heading your way. They had gotten lost and ended up like 30 miles away.
Oh my gosh.
Out on the main road.
They run out of gas.
And they got lost. And I don't know how, because there's signs everywhere.
Yeah.
But they ended up come backstage on a rollback truck in their little RV,
That's
like
amazing.
SUV, not SUV.
That was a great event. I have so many great memories of every time. And the main thing, I'm going to give your community and your love of your community huge props, because it's the heart of that event that was just such a pleasure to be a part of. The people of Crockettsville, the people who helped you put it on, and the volunteers, and Governor Bashir. It might be a vice president.
Yeah.
And it
could be.
It literally could be. Like I said, I don't know when this airs. It'll be clear at some point.
Wait for it.
Yeah, and it just really a great job.
Thank you.
And it was such an honor to be a part of that.
We were honored to have you, sir.
And it'll shock you, Colt, if you haven't heard the number, but how much money did you raise over the years of that event?
We did it for 10 years, and we raised well over $1.5 million.
That's amazing.
It's just a testament of those people.
It's a community that didn't have that money to raise.
Yeah.
And
everybody was volunteers. Everybody that came in there came and played for free. Storme came for free. Everyone came for free. No one ever got paid for anything.
Storme's such a good dude. He's always doing stuff for free.
Yes.
To quote Vince Gill, I asked Vince in an interview, I said, "You're known as Mr. Charity. Why do you do all these things?" And he goes, "Because there was a time when nobody asked."
Wow.
That is so much better than what I would have said.
I know. But I've never forgotten that line, and I cried.
Yeah.
And it hit me
so
so hard.
Why'd you have to say that right now?
I know.
This is so good.
But there was a time when nobody asked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would I say no?
Yeah.
Because I spent my entire youth building to being a part of the community, doing something that meant something. Why wouldn't I say yes?
Right. Yeah.
And so to all the people who say no, think about it next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when nobody asked.
That's so good. Did you work on Different Drummer? You were with Different Drummer?
Oh, yeah.
The production company?
No, yeah, that was my company.
That was your company. I knew that.
Yeah.
Did you?
I love this question already.
Were you?
I love the this is.
It's Jessica White.
There's a lot of build
By
up.
the way, the is just that's all I needed to go. Here we go.
It's just
Here's a blog question.
Jesco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Different drummer.
Oh shit!
But that's one of the greatest movies of all time.
God, if you hadn't seen that,
Jessica White, have you seen it?
The Dancing Outlaw. Jorge took a lot out of me when my father got killed.
On YouTube of it.
No. You have to watch the whole.
My wife is from West Virginia, and she made me watch this clip on YouTube. It was about half an hour long, or maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah,
of this guy dancing.
Well, then you saw it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, my jaw was just hanging on the floor the whole time. I was like, I can't believe I'm actually watching this.
Were you there in Hendersonville when Chet Atkins and Marty Stewart paid Jesco and got him a tour bus and brought him from West Virginia to the bowling alley in Hendersonville?
Oh my gosh.
But I would have paid money.
No, where Hermitage, wherever that bowling alley is. And oh God, there's some great stories about that night, but I can't tell most of them. But Jessica White comes in and does his Dancing Outlaw routine with his jam box plugged in with his cape and does the whole Dancing Outlaw.
Jesse, Jesco, and Elvis. He's three people in one.
He's three people.
Yeah.
And they all huffed paint.
Yeah. Oh, good.
He'd take a hit of that. He was the airplane glue. Or something else. They quit selling. His mom made him quit selling it to him.
Yeah, it was sealant or
something like that.
Some horrible thing.
Wow,
man!
God, this conversation is awesome,
dude. It's the best.
I remember bidding when eBay first came out on a DVD of that. Yeah, I paid like $150 for it.
Well, it was the ultimate. It was the ultimate bus tape.
Yeah, that was it.
When people wanted something to watch on the bus, it was Jessica
VHS.
White. Yeah, it was Jessica White, the Dancing Outlaw.
Yeah,
and I actually interviewed the original producer for that, who the other different drummer.
Yeah,
and it was a PBS station out of West Virginia or Virginia or wherever it was. And he's just so humble about it. He's just like, man, I just really fell in love with the family. I just wanted to just tell the story.
What, weren't they going somewhere else to shoot something else?
Yeah,
and they found him.
They found him. Yeah,
just on the way.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's
like,
wild.
yeah, this is not whatever we were going to do.
This is the story.
This is way better. We found it, boys. We found some real
Just
gold.
Unreal. So, headline country GAC to the highway. You were at the highway for what?
17 years.
17 years?
Wow.
Jesus.
It was the fastest 17 years of my life.
Wow.
I've never seen 17 years go by that fast, because when I hear that number, when I left, I didn't know what the number would be because I was still there. And when I left, I had to find what the end of that moment was. And I did the math and went 17 years.
Wow.
That is unreal.
No, and I was doing headline country at the time when I started. So I was overlapping SiriusXM and the highway. And that was a great run. Man, I really enjoyed. My favorite part of my entire career is being part of something that's building. I mean, look at you, Colt. Look at the building you're in right now.
Yeah.
I remember when Scott Hendricks was trying to open Capitol Records in this very same building.
Right. Yeah.
And that didn't happen. So you guys got it. But my favorite part is building something. And SiriusXM was in existence, but they probably had 15 million subscribers over North America
Yeah.
at the time. And I came
That's
in.
all genres, right? The whole thing.
Yeah. And John Anthony was my program director, and he called me and he goes, "Hey, you want to come over? You did radio, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you want to come over and do this?" I'm like, "I haven't done radio in forever. I would love to. Please. Because I was kind of hating TV at the time.
Yeah.
Even though I owned my own production company and everything should have been on top of the world, we were making good money.
Yeah.
Television doesn't give me satisfaction
Okay.
the way radio and the way these conversations take place.
Right.
This to me is heaven.
Yeah.
What we're doing right here is heaven. And you can't get this on television.
No.
Even if there were cameras, did you see me look around the room? I looked around and said, "Please let me know if there are cameras."
No.
So I need to know how to act and whatever.
Right.
But when you realize you're on camera, you behave differently,
It's true.
and you behave differently. You react differently. You don't answer honestly. You ask questions differently. And this environment is the true, rawest, most beautiful place to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's,
I agree.
And,
Don't disagree at all.
no. And so it's like when I got the opportunity to go back, and then guess what screwed me? As soon as I get there, "Hey, we're going to put video cameras in your studios."
Damn it.
And I'm like, come on.
Man.
No, that's not why I came back.
No.
But I learned to ignore them and just not care.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the guests sometimes don't forget
Right.
and
Of
know they're
course.
there. And there's always that wall that is there when you know you have a camera looking at you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Eye in the sky.
But I went through multiple program directors there, and everyone was very different. Everyone had a different agenda. Everyone had different flaws and different skill sets.
Yeah.
But I learned so much. During that entire process, and it was great to grow that brand into one of the. I mean, the highway was by far one of the largest entities in all of country music, and
sure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if not just broadcasting, period.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With the largest audience, and our morning show was pretty good.
It's
Oh, y'all were great.
absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
It was pretty good.
I'd listen to it, and I didn't even want to get up that early. You know,
And he'd chime in. He'd text me all the time.
I would text you. You're like, that was stupid. You sound dumb when you said
I
that.
think you just copied and pasted that.
No, I would just, he would say something that would catch me funny, and I'd just be like, that was good, or nah, not so much, and whatever. I just, that's what friends do.
But it is, and thank you for being a friend.
You're
And
welcome.
You're a friend too. I don't want to
Yes.
leave you out of the friendship group
Thank you,
here.
Storme. I appreciate that.
We're like a triangle.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
a big triangle.
But it was a great run, and then it came to an end.
Yeah. Did you work with Garth When did you first start working with Garth?
First time I met Garth was in Branson, Missouri.
Huh.
Kenny Rogers, to go back to Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers,
lady.
Christmas concert for a television special. And we were shooting in multiple locations in Branson, Missouri. And I wasn't working for the show. I was working for CNN. And Branson, who I became, I don't want to use Branson like a name, and I don't want to tell a lot of people who the people were, but Branson was really trying to build its brand at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they reached out to me and they said, hey, what if we brought you to Branson and helped you at CNN do coverage of what's going on in this town? And oh yeah, sounds good. Again, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
21. And Garth was just taking off. And he was one of the guests. Trisha and Garth were the guests, along with, was it All for One?
Oh,
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah. So All for One
That's the
was
one.
on there, and there were some other artists on there. And we did just behind the scenes coverage of the making of this Christmas special. And we set up an interview for Garth Brooks. And lights, camera, tripod, great. Steve Rippey. Thank you, my photographer back then. Love that guy. He was like, we're ready. And then he comes up to me and goes, I think Garth is leaving. I'm like, what? He goes, I think he's leaving. I'm like, no. And he goes, you want to run and gun it? And in photography terms, run and gun is literally throwing the camera on your shoulder and capturing the moment.
Wow.
And I said, hell yeah, let's do this. And so while we're running, he's strapping a wireless microphone in my hand and going, all right, you got this. He's slapping his headphones on. He's got the light on. He's tying the light back onto his camera. And we get up to his bus, and he's just opening the door to walk on his bus. I said, Mr. Brooks. Damn it. And he hates this story. He absolutely hates this story.
I love it already.
Because I had just enough of a profile look at his face to watch him go.
He said fudge for all the people who are listening. Yeah.
The old Troy L came out.
Troy out.
Then he turned around and, hey, pal. And everything turned it on.
Yeah.
But he's a pro that way.
Sure.
And it goes back to our original conversation about celebrities. He knows better than just about anybody on the planet.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Everyone you treat will only help your brand.
Yeah.
He's literally the best I've ever seen do it.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no one better. And he still does it even better to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, he will be in the pouring rain. He will be whatever, sick as a dog. He'll be exhausted and whatever. However many people are out there, he's going to shake their hands. He's brilliant.
Legendary 24-hour signing at fanfare back in the day.
But for my very first meeting with him, to catch him in that very interesting raw moment of just, But so he hates that story. And Garth, I apologize for telling that one. But, I love you. Thank you for hiring me.
Yeah. Well, how did that come about? So, did Garth already have this 615 thing in place?
Yeah, he did.
And he reached out to you while you're still at XM?
Yeah, my contract had ended.
Oh, okay.
And we were in negotiations to sign back up. And I was in a freelance month-to-month contract after my contract had ended. And I don't know I don't even want to speculate what whatever. But I get a text and he says, hey, when you wake up, give me a call. And he knew I was doing a morning show and it was 9 a.m. Because when you wake up, give me a call. And it was just like, come on. And I said, all right, I'm done with my show. Can I call you? He goes, yeah. So I called him. He goes, man, this has been a phone call a long time in the making. Like a long time. I said, okay. And I'm like, okay, where's this going?
Oh, boy.
And he goes, I'm starting a platform called the Sevens Network. It's on TuneIn.
Getting chills.
And he goes, do you know TuneIn? I said, yeah. I listen to my Oklahoma State Cowboys on TuneIn.
Yeah.
That's where most sports people get their sports, is on the TuneIn platform.
TuneIn.
But it's also got 100,000 radio stations you can access around the world. It's brilliant for all of that. And he goes, oh, so you know it? I said, yeah. He goes, okay, well, that saves some time. He goes, do you know anybody that could maybe come over and help me? The flagship channel is going to be called the Big 615. And he goes, I can't believe nobody's taken that name. I said, yeah, me neither. That's crazy. And he goes, do you know anybody? I went, funny enough, my contract's up right now. And he goes, oh, well, that takes about 30 minutes off this conversation.
Wow.
He already had it all planned out.
So Garth
He's
texts
fishing.
you and
You said that. I did not say that. That's why I'm taking it. That's why I'm not saying.
I can read between the lines.
Garth knows the future.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's like an alien.
Can I brag about him for a minute?
Please.
Of course.
He's the reason I do country music.
But he's the reason I obviously have a job.
Yeah.
But
like that.
but also I just respect the hell out of him. I just do. And whatever, I mean, I don't understand the crap he gets. And it just bugs me.
Well,
Because, I mean, nobody has worked harder and been nicer and tried to do things for the right reasons more than this guy.
yeah.
And he ends up getting crap for
Well,
it.
you know what it is. It's
Success.
complete jealousy
It's
of success.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard fellow artists or other artists, talk crap, and I'm just like, stop it. I've had arguments that have lasted till dawn with certain artists that I've been defending Garth, and they've been shredding him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what are you angry at?
Yeah.
What is this that you? What is it that you? There's nothing. He's done nothing but build this format to a level that it had never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
He had done nothing but support songwriters and take care of songwriters' rights
To a fault almost, you know?
mean, he's given his own songwriting credits away so that other songwriters would get the money from his songs.
Baron.
And he's
I didn't know that. That's the first I've heard that.
Hmm.
That's cool.
He basically, I mean, Keith Anderson tells the story too, but it's Keith Anderson, Kim Williams, and Kim Williams' daughter were the writers on it. And Garth heard the song and was like, hey, this is really good, but how about I change the whole song and give it back to you and I record it?
Yeah.
And he basically rewrote the whole song.
He did. The melody, everything.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's a complete, Keith, I'm not talking out of school here,
But he never took the songwriting
but he
credit.
never took any credit for writing on it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just amazing.
He's a great business guy. I mean, he also will. I don't want to put words in his mouth, so I'm not going to say he will. I'm going to say my assumption of what he's done for this town and for this business is he's made artists realize that they can be their own ambassador.
Yeah.
And he was and is the king of that.
Yeah.
And he learned from Buck Owens.
Okay.
Buck Owens told him, you need to own your own masters. You need to do this. You need to do this. And he listened.
And he did.
And he did. And it's just, and it's like, so maybe if there's some tough love that has come back his way, it's because he was just tough being his own advocate.
Right.
And I don't see anything wrong with that.
No.
No, not at all. I can't think of anything that I could say Garth did wrong or would have come off wrong.
I could give you a couple of names that think otherwise.
I'm sure you can. You talk to a lot more people than I do, but I mean, me being in the situation I am, and working with songwriters and dealing with multiple artists all the time, because whatever. But it's just like Garth's never been anything but great. I mean, 2 years into my career here, he records that song More Than a Memory.
We're looking at a plaque on your wall, by the way.
And, which is
We're looking at his Ford vinyl box set.
Yeah, there's a
right
Garth
there.
vinyl box set.
There's a little shrine to him over in the corner over there.
There's candles.
He has G candles lit with some G incense burning.
But when he recorded that song, like
$25.99.
he invited us in the studio, and it's just like you said, like everybody when we walked into Jack's Tracks, everybody who walked in, he went up to everyone, shook their hand, said, "Thank you so much for being here." And even me, I was just like, snot-nosed 2 years into the business guy, and actually, I don't even remember what he said because I was just like, he's literally the only person I've ever been starstruck in front of, and it's not because I
funny thing.
I didn't grow up a Garth Brooks fan. Like I liked his music, but I wasn't like, oh my god, Garth Brooks. But like being in his presence, I was just like, I could feel my body shaking. I'm like, why? Why is this happening?
I don't know if you've ever sat on a bull in a gate before. You know that
I have, and it's absolutely terrifying.
Oh,
like an actual rodeo bull. And I did it for a TV shoot, of course.
Of course.
And
it's called Jackass.
Yeah. It's called Stupid. Yeah, worse than Jackass. It's called Stupid. And I sat on, Diablo del Fuego or whatever the bull's name was.
Sounds terrifying.
and you sit, and they tremor. And they tremor because their energy is at a level. And Garth is the same way.
Yeah.
And he hums. I mean, he literally, there's like this, you go around a power transformer and you hear the, that's Garth.
Yeah.
He literally has this hum around him that is just,
it's energy.
And that's a question I want to ask you, people, other than Garth, when you have been in a room and you could be facing the window and somebody of that caliber has walked through the door, you feel it.
Yeah. There's an energy.
So who are those people for you? I've got my short list.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, for me, Garth is definitely number one.
Yeah,
because like I've been around a lot of people, but usually the people I know,
the air changes when they walk into the room.
Well, Grani Dunn for me. Gosh,
oh, that's a good.
Every time I'm around him, I want to go say hi because I think the world of him.
Yeah,
but I won't do it. I'm like, I can't.
Right.
I can't.
It's like I'm still starstruck too, and I swore a long time ago, the minute I lose being starstruck, it's time for me to get out of this.
Yeah,
I walked into we were at ACMs. It's when we were up for Duo of the Year back in the day. Just
congratulations on being a nominee.
Thank you. Troy and Eddie were sitting in front of us, and we were like, well, Troy's like, God damn, we're going to lose this one again, ain't we, boys? Okay. But I walked into...
You're not fans, you're friends.
Yeah. Y'all will go to my town, baby. Well, I don't know, dear. No, I walked in.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Hey, Chad David, man, get over here, man.
Hey, man. I got to tell you, man.
But I walked in.
Love you, Eddie.
At one point, I'm sitting there talking to Reba McEntire and George Strait. And they are those people.
Yeah.
You said George and Reba?
Yeah, George and Reba.
Yeah. No, they're on my list. I
haven't been around them, but I would probably feel that energy.
The scariest George Strait moment I've ever had, I go to San Antonio. He invites me down to interview him for something that we were doing. And he comes out of a radio satellite interview. Are we like 8 hours into this interview, by the way? No. Okay, great. And and George comes out of the radio studio from a satellite radio interview, and he's in a hoodie.
I can't imagine that.
He's got glasses on, like reading glasses on. He's got a hat on backwards, like a dad cap on backwards.
I can't even envision this in my head.
He's in board shorts and flip-flops.
Stop it.
Quit it, man.
I know.
He always wears Starch Wranglers
right?
and a cowboy hat.
So he comes out and goes, well, hey, Stormy, are we doing something today? I said, yeah, we got an interview. So he goes, oh, good. Can I wear this? I said, absolutely not.
You did.
And he goes, oh, really? And he's like, his heart just dropped. And he goes, okay. And like Clark Kent, in 3 seconds, he turned into Super George and walked through the door.
Yes.
And I just went, and it took my breath away.
I love it.
Comes
yellow
saunter
starched in the thing, and it comes with the costume,
the pure country walk.
Yes. And he just came through, and it just Dolly Parton,
Dolly, yes,
yeah,
Dolly, Reba, Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers is one of my heroes.
I had to have a story.
Oh, please! I keep taking up all the stories.
No, not at all. One of your heroes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were playing in Atlanta with Tim, and we were in what was it? Not Mercedes-Benz, the Omni, or whatever that big arena, whatever it was called at the time, the arena. But this was when Tim and Faith had the cross in the middle that sold a Soul 2007 tour.
Yeah.
So if you weren't like, we went out early. They had a tunnel, and they would take the tunnel up when me and Tim, Faith, and Chad were under the stage. And so we get done with our part of the show and we walk off, go backstage, and we're in our dressing room. We hear this guy going, "Man, I don't know about this." And I'm like, that voice sounds very familiar. Walk out, it's Kenny Rogers. I'm like, holy shit. It's the roaster dude.
Yeah.
The chicken man.
By the way, the most underrated restaurant on the planet. I love that place.
But he was we had, for our laundry and, show stuff, we had these huge laundry bins that were on wheels. Well, Kenny was supposed to get on stage with Tim, but he had gotten there late. So they're putting Kenny Rogers in this huge clothes hamper.
Yeah, to wheel him in.
To wheel him to the stage.
Oh, my gosh.
It's very
and Kenny's like,
Tritt-like.
I don't know, man. And they're like, yeah, yes. So Kenny Rogers got in his clothes hamper outside of our dressing room, and they wheeled his ass to the stage, and he got up and blew the doors off of that arena.
Hell yeah.
It was amazing.
I love it.
Kenny Rogers, towards the later part of his life, we'd known each other since 91, since I met him in Branson. And he took me under his wing like Charlie did, and was just a great mentor to me.
Yeah.
For a long time. Just an amazing human being. And he came in for an interview at SiriusXM, and he comes barely walking in because his hips were going at that time. And he comes walking in, and he just flops down in this chair, and he looks at me like, and my father had already passed, but he gave me that look of just a father. And he goes, "So we're going to have a chat?" I said, "Yeah." And I just went,
God.
And we had the most, it's online. You can still hear it, and I'll cry. I'm getting emotional talking
You got to
about
quit it, dude. You got to quit.
No, but it was one of the most special conversations I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
Great.
I love that.
You know what he said? I asked him, I said, "When did you know you had made it?" And we'll get to that section a little later. Some of my favorite questions to ask. That's one of them. When did you know you had made it? And he goes, "Growing up, I lived in the hood. I lived in a bad area in Georgia, and so I had to walk across a lot of different lawns in neighborhoods to get to school. And some of them were a lot nicer than mine. And I always noticed automatic sprinklers, irrigation in people's yards. That I was like, God, those people are so rich. They have irrigation."
I'm sure back then.
Yeah,
That was
they
a
have
lot.
irrigation. And when he finally made it, he sat on a rocking chair on his back deck and watched the water just spray his yard.
Wow.
He's so happy.
I mean, it's the little things.
And that is.
But you kind of like what we were saying, those formative years, like when you said,
I love that
this
story.
This is home, like puberty, but like, those formative years of your life, that really meant something to him.
Yeah.
And when you brought up that question for him to be like,
Yeah.
man, I can afford to pay for
Look
this
at me.
now.
I got like tears coming down my eyes.
I can
man.
have all this. Quit it. You're going to make me cry. I don't want to do it.
I'm going to look at water sprinklers a lot different now.
No, he asked me the same question. He goes, "When did you know you made it?" I said, "Well, I don't think I have." He goes, "No, you know the moment. You know the moment when you're on the right path."
Yeah.
And I said, "An ice maker."
Really? Yeah. Wow.
When I got an ice maker in my house.
Wow.
So it's like, who gets an ice maker?
Yeah. Is it the rabbit poop ice?
No, it's
Sonic
not.
ice?
No, it's not Sonic. No, I'm not that cool. I'm not that rich. I'm not John McBride rich.
I'm going to add that to my list. I'm going to have an island, a fur coat, and a Sonic ice maker.
Sonic pellet maker.
Not a small one. I want the big dude.
God, I love that story about Kenny. Thank you for making me go down that path.
Dude.
Thank
you for sharing.
And he's God, what a gem of a human being.
Yeah, dude.
And his lawyer called me after he died. He said, "Kenny wanted you to have this." And it's a picture of the Abraham Lincoln Memorial at Washington, D.C. that he took himself.
Wow.
And he goes, see the people in the front? I said, yeah. And he goes, he made them go there. He staged the whole photo. And he goes, it was just and it's it's one of my favorite images. And it just, I love
you
that
gotta
guy.
send us a picture of that.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
Please.
Yeah, please do.
So you're doing, Garth got you on this, and you're doing a writer's night too.
Yes.
Well, funny you should say that,
Tell
David
me about
Tolliver.
that. Tell me about
Do I
that.
feel a shameless plug coming up?
Well, I get.
Well, it depends again when this airs.
No, it's funny because I got a text the other day out of the blue. It's like, 12:30 club, such and such. You're going to be there. It's just basically not even asking. It's just like telling me where I'm going to be, and I'm like, well, actually, I'll be in Portugal at that time, but
Which
This
we
guy.
won't go through the whole text change.
exchange that went after. It
I
was
can
more along
only
the lines
imagine.
of, it's basically he was like, Portugal sucks. You should do this instead. And I'm like, I can't really do that.
I believe I said the equivalent of fudge Portugal.
Yeah, it's basically. Yeah. But I guess we're playing it September 4th.
Yeah.
It's 3 to 5 at 12:30 Club downtown. Exit
209.
Exit 209.
And
Yeah.
that's the exit off of Broadway.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
My wife came up with that name.
She is
Tell us
so
the story
smart.
behind that.
Yeah, it started as a podcast, and now it's turned into the Writers Round show name, and it's the exit off of Broadway. And I said, I'm trying to come up with a name for this thing. What do I call it? What do I call it? And she goes, well, what's the exit off Broadway? And I'm like, I have no idea.
It's like, shut your mouth. How did you come up with that so fast?
I know. And I was like, 210. I guessed 210, and I looked it up and said, no, it's exit 209.
That's got a really cool ring to it.
Yeah,
And it is neat. I say it at the beginning of every show. We've done over 60 songwriter shows now over a year,
Nice.
and 160 writers plus. And
so you went through a lot of your favorites first before you called.
yeah. Oh
me.
no, you were way
Bottom
down the list.
of the barrel.
Way
Yeah.
down the list. Way
We're
down the
running
list.
out of people here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck Cannon could only do it once, and Brett James and Mobley and Win
hits. I have a lot of hits. I'm cool.
Yeah.
People know my songs.
I'm trying not to repeat, so I got down to your name.
Oh, wow.
But,
He's just serious.
Yeah.
It's a really special round, and this is going to be my shameless plug on this. I don't know. I've been to a ton of songwriter shows. You've played a billion of them.
Yes.
You've been to how many, Colt?
No, there's not a number.
Right. I mean, you've been to all of them.
Feels like it. Yeah.
I mean, and that's just in Key West.
Right.
And
I must say, I love Key West Storme. She's my favorite Storme.
oh,
Chart
God.
room.
No, Key West Stormy is, I wouldn't even call him Stormy. I don't know what we call that guy. You come up with the name of what
I'll
you
think
call
about
that.
it, yeah.
It's like Stormy Buffett.
No, it's something other than that.
I remember you took me and Jenna. We
have another one of those?
we went to the chart room. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite bar in the world.
Favorite. And it's like as big as an office.
You've been there, Cole, right?
The
Chart room? Doesn't ring a bell.
It's
You won't
we
find
don't tell them where it is.
I'm
is
not
in
going
Key
to tell
West?
where it is. It's in Key West
Oh,
somewhere.
no, I don't. Never been. Mm-mm.
It is. How do you
Not that I
open this thing?
remember.
It was one of the coolest places I've ever been.
There are those moments in Key West that you don't remember.
Yeah.
Do you know how many songwriters and artists songwriters and we're not doing joints here, by the way. He's not giving me. It's no.
They're breath mints.
Hang on.
I swear the number of times people come up to me in town and go, "Hey, we met in Key West," and I said, "Very well could have been."
Yeah. I think we've hung out a lot more than you remember.
Fair enough.
You and Trent Tomlinson, I tell you what.
Oh my God! And Tyler Reeve.
And Tyler Reeve.
Oh my God!
That's a foursome right there. I don't want to see coming at me.
By
You
the way,
four coming at me, no.
I'll see if you guys can put two and two together. But Tyler Reeve and something we talked about a long time ago is the person I was talking about. So
I'll have to go back and listen.
yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah. But anyway,
So we were
I
talking
love that
about-
guy. I love that guy.
Yeah. Oh,
Key West and then-
okay.
Yeah.
I understand now.
Yeah.
Really? Come on, dude.
I haven't made the
You
connection.
telling me to pay attention? This is Twang Town with David Tolliver, Storme Warren, and Colt Mursky.
Yes. Radio reset.
I'm excited. Shit. I'm excited to play your thing. That's going to happen
Thank
September
you for
4th.
doing it. Because, number one, I just love you guys.
Thank you.
The friendship is so important to me.
Yeah.
But I truly respect the two of you as singers, songwriters, and artists. And I don't want the world ever not to hear you guys sing together. And there's just something so magical about what you guys do. And I'm a true believer and always will be and always have. And I just, if I told you on a text, I said I had 3 of my best shows at the SiriusXM studios. And it was big and rich because it was just them doing their thing.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was Keith Urban. So 4. Brothers Osborne and these guys.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's...
Oh, he's going to cry.
No, Stormy's always been a big support of ours. And
They're freaking good.
No,
Thank
if you're
you.
listening to this and you have a chance to see a Halfway to Hazard show, go. I mean, even still to this day, when you two guys sing, dude, it's magic.
Thank
it
you.
really
It is. There's a connection there, and a magic and energy, and just this chemistry that
chemistry. That's it.
you can't duplicate it. You
Nope.
just can't.
Nope.
And the fact that the world did not get it, or some idiot here on this street did not get it, just still baffles my mind.
Right.
thanks, guys. I mean,
And it's just
so happy right now. Just smiling.
but I mean it with all my heart, and I would say that even if you weren't sitting here in this room.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
You've always been a supporter, and you've always been there whenever we've asked you to do anything remotely ignorant.
God, they're so good, Cole.
So good.
I mean, come on.
We're doing our best. We've actually played some shows, and we've started writing some new music. I've decided you're never too old. I just have, and it's back to your quote,
Charlie Daniels.
for Charlie Daniels. It's
Yep.
back to what you told me, and we're doing it now.
Don't
more
let the old
for-
man in.
No, we're now to the point to where we don't. It's going to sound terrible.
You're going to say you don't care, but that's not what you mean.
It's not what I mean at all.
Yeah.
We care, but we don't care anymore.
I know.
We
exactly.
don't care. We care about the right things. And if,
I mean, look at, we mentioned Jeffrey Steele. Look at Jeffrey Steele. He's not a young man.
Nope.
I mean, he's
but
60-something.
damn, son.
And he is still churning out hit after
Still.
hit after hit. And he has figured out whatever that magic juju is to just stay young, stay vibrant, stay connected, and do it.
And he's still so good. I've seen him play a couple times the last year. And
Him and his tiny
so
guitar.
good. The
I know.
little tiny green
the little,
guitar.
The little
Tiny.
backpack guitar
Yes.
that he breaks
Yeah,
out.
he pulled that thing out at the Opry, at the Opry for the
he
Covenant
pulled
School
that
benefit.
thing out at the Opry.
I hosted that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And when he
Remember?
I
I was there.
well, I remember now. I was drinking that night. You weren't.
Unlike Key West.
But he walked out on stage, and I'd never seen him play that guitar before. And I was like, what the hell? I was like,
Yeah.
why is he bringing this shitty little guitar out on stage? And then, but
And
just
then he
man,
makes
just the
it
way he
sing.
plays it
and then
and
plays
sing,
what hurts
dude,
the
he-
most.
He killed. Like that was probably my favorite performance of the night. I mean,
Well-
everybody did really good, but when he did that and sang "What Hurts the Most," I was just like, "Holy shit, this guy still got it. He's so good."
My favorite moment of that night, if you don't know what the Covenant thing was, it was the shooting that happened in Nashville and at the school, and it was tragic and it was horrible
Yes.
and just devastating to this community. And just raising some money for the families of the victims.
Houston
And,
Phillips.
Yeah.
One of our buddies, our writers here.
Yeah, I mean,
Organized.
there's a lot of people tied to that.
Yeah, dude.
Clay Smith, and
Yep.
there are a lot of
Yep.
people that were really tied to that school. I didn't know much about Covenant School before that shooting,
Yeah,
and
me either.
but I've learned to see what that community is, and
Right.
it's special. And Jeffrey gets on stage, and I've seen Jeffrey probably 200 times.
Yeah,
And I know there's a short version and a long version of Gone from Montgomery Gentry.
Yes,
that he
right.
wrote. And asked the crowd, I said, do you want to hear the short version? Or would you like to hear the long version? And Jeffrey looked at me and goes, are you serious? And I went, and everybody went, the long! And he did it. I mean, so here's he's going to get so pissed that I'm saying this out loud, but I'm putting it out there. I'm manifesting it into the universe because I believe in this more than just about anything in the world. Mm-hmm. Number one, look up Jeffrey Steele if you don't know who he is. He's got music out by himself. Plus, he's written countless hits for Tim McGraw and Kenny Chesney and Keith Urban. And it's just Rascal Flatts.
Yes.
And how many other people. And I came up with an idea after watching him do Gone for 20, 25 minutes at a time.
That's nuts.
Where he weaves in his influences. He plays Led Zeppelin and Tom Petty and all these other artists in the middle of Gone, which is one of my favorite Montgomery Gentry songs too. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, God, this is so genius. And I said, what if you did one night, one song?
Whoa.
One night, one song.
What?
Yes. 75 minutes, one song.
Dude, that's crazy. But I like it.
And he went, I'm in.
Oh, shit.
He's got it up to 45 minutes now.
Woo!
And he goes, I think I can do it.
45 minutes?
Wow.
He goes, I can do it. And he goes, and he's woven it into a timeline of where music came to him, whatever. And he keeps going back into Gone and then out of it. And then back into Gone and out of it.
Crazy.
Can you imagine a marquee on the strip of Las Vegas that said Jeffrey Steele, one night, one song?
That is an amazing concept.
It's kind of like a Broadway thing.
It's whatever it is. And I can't believe I'm putting it out there for the universe because somebody else is going to try to steal that. And I don't care.
I don't think they can.
Because I don't think it, okay, you're gonna judge me on this, but this is how proud I am of a fan of this person that I am.
Yeah.
The only other person that can do that and has done it for at least 35 minutes was Barry Manilow.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Barry Manilow.
I'm the biggest. Keith Anderson, also the biggest Barry Manilow fan on the planet.
Yeah.
And Barry Manilow is a god to me.
Yes.
He's one of the best songwriters. As a songwriter guy.
And a jingle guy.
I am stuck on Band-Aids and Band-Aids stuck on me.
The best
I didn't know you
part
wrote
of
that.
waking
finger
up
looking good.
is Folgers in your cup.
What?
Yep.
I didn't know he did all
Get
those.
a bucket of chicken.
Dude.
He wrote
all these
of
jingles.
those.
I didn't know this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, now I know.
So he has
Now I
this
love
thing
him even
called
more.
he has a song called on a live album. You can get it right now. Look it up wherever. It's called the Gonzo Hits Medley, and it is insanity.
Wow.
And you just go, what the hell? And that was the inspiration for me to suggest that and Gone. But I think one night, one song, and it turns into a one-man show of somebody's history. But it's got the gimmick or the catch or the whatever it is of one night, one song.
Because it makes you go, what is this?
Yeah, what is this?
And Jeffrey's a perfect person with everything that's happened in his life.
Such a performer.
Oh no! He
God!
can touch.
I can't even.
So the only problem is you can't stop.
Yeah,
you can't stop.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's you can talk.
Yeah,
but you can't stop.
Yeah.
You can tell the stories, and you can change songs, but you can't stop because then it's not one song.
No,
right.
So,
good Lord.
What's the longest you've ever played one song?
3.5 minutes.
It depends on how long Chad talked. Literally, there was a point like when we were on tour.
Love you, Chad.
When we were touring pretty heavy. There's one part in the song called "Got Back Up" that Chad starts thanking all these people and thanking first responders. It's a very touching.
It's
tribute.
A great song.
Yeah, it's a great song. But I'm having to play this riff the whole fucking time.
And over.
And it was that song and a song called "Die by My Own Hand."
I love that song too. I love that song.
Chad would solo. He would solo, and we weren't done with the solo until Chad said we were done with the solo. So each night we would take bets. Me and the bass player and the drummer would look at each other and be like, all right, I'm thinking 5 minutes. Yeah. And the drummer would go 6. And then the bass player would go 10. And it was like, some nights it would be a 15-minute song.
Did you guys bet on it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Bet shots. It's like, yeah.
How'd that go?
It's always a good night when you have acid reflux and eat pizza on the bus and you're hammered drunk. You come out of there with your after, you can't breathe, and you're like, dude, I've come out of the bunk before because my acid would back up and get in my throat, and it would cut off my windpipe, and I couldn't. I could breathe, but it was almost like a panic attack, and all I could get out was. And I would jerk the curtain open at 4 a.m. and just
Jeez,
go,
God, give me a sign.
Again. Yeah.
And everybody would freak out, and I'm like, I'm fine.
Jeez, God, give me a sign.
Go back to sleep. I'm
God,
fine.
what should I do here? Oh, shit.
I feel like I'm dying, God. What have I done?
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah, please.
Dude, I am such a fan of yours. I've always been a fan. I am honored to call you a friend.
It's the fact that you guys invited me to come here and just hang out.
Thank you.
I don't want it to end.
Yeah, I know.
No, this has been probably the funnest podcast ever.
It's been the most fun podcast. It's been the most obscure.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
A lot. But tell everybody where they can find you, your stuff.
So if you download the TuneIn app, TuneIn, and just download the app, and then it's free. It's free. Ad
I've done
free.
it. It's easy.
Everything.
We'll
it's
put a link
easy.
in our bio. For
thank you.
Or a link in
Thank
whatever.
you. And as I've told my boss,
Garth Brooks.
his name is Garth.
Garth. Troy Al Brooks.
And I said, I believe we have to sell this door to door. And that's just, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And I love it. And he's done that his entire career. And he's not scared of it. Yeah. We're not scared of it. And it's growing. I mean, we're ahead of where we thought we would be a year into it.
That's awesome.
And we're just going, okay, I think we're onto something. Yeah. And I think it's going to work.
It's going to be fabulous.
And it's just really neat. The passion is there. We have a team. I got to give a shout out to, the team behind it too. It's a very small team. Bob Richards and Montevaden and Morris Minor and we just had Johnny Jasno and Blake Carter and Joe Wills. We just have this. That's it. That's our team.
Yeah.
And
lean and mean, baby.
Lean and mean.
We know how that is.
Yeah, but that's, to me, that's the only way I've done my entire career. Yeah. And real quick story before. Yeah. Speaking of that, we went to Iraq with Kelly Pickler and Brett Johnson, my cameraman.
Yes.
Yes. Back in the day, we were invited to go on a USO tour with Kelly Pickler, and they said, well, who else are you bringing? I said, no, just 2 of us. Just my cameraman and me. Well, no crew, no grips, no lighting, no, just me, my cameraman. And we put together a 90-minute special for GAC.
Wow.
Called Kelly Pickler's USO Diary, which is still on YouTube. Go check it out.
Yeah. And
it's a multi-part thing on YouTube. And to this day, it was the highest rated show the network ever put on.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's badass.
So then 2 years later, another television producer in town, very prominent, very successful producer, called me and he goes, hey, can I see your crew list for, we're doing one with Mark Wills and a bunch of other artists and Trace Atkins, and can I see your crew list? And I said, sure. I'll text it to you. He goes, no, I need to see it in a PDF and, whatever. And I said, no, you don't.
Believe me. Trust me, pal. Yeah.
I said, no, you don't. And so I guess I have to add an editor to it. So 3 of us.
Yeah. He probably saw that list and was like, you son of a bitch.
No, he hated it. Yeah. He hated it. He was like, there's no way this doesn't work.
Maths.
Yeah. It was like, this does not work in my arena.
Yeah.
And for the reasons why we all know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was just like, well, sorry.
Yeah.
That was it. And
like,
the same thing with
Storme Warren.
Yeah, the same thing with this team. And we've all done it for a lot of years. We've all known what we're doing. We're passionate about it. And we love music and we love the audience. And it's global, by the way.
No.
SiriusXM is North American only. It's geocentric to North America.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. That was amazing. And it still is amazing. And it's a great format. And I love the product of SiriusXM. But this is completely global. And so now we're hearing from Lithuania and Finland and Norway and Australia and Russia and like all these countries. Maybe not Russia. I don't think we're blocked in Russia. But
I wonder why.
We're hearing from Australia, New Zealand, and it's just amazing to see how small the world can get.
Yeah.
Through country music.
Yeah,
and
it's incredible.
It's really fun.
Awesome, man.
Awesome. Well, check him out. And they can find you on the Instagrams and
in the Twitter things,
Twitters and all the or X's or whatever they're
I think it's
called
back to Twitter.
Is it back to Twitter now?
Yeah, I think he's talking about moving it back to Twitter.
He should have never left it, made it move it, which I don't own the company, so I can't say that.
But
Yeah, well, you tried. You know.
it's kind of like, do you still call it Fanfare or CMA Music Fest?
I can't not say fanfare.
Right, exactly.
No, absolutely.
And then all the young interns we have, they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, with Fanfare, what?
CMA Music Fest.
Have you ever in your life spun a wheel of shame?
Oh, I like this.
You're going.
What is the wheel of shame?
Well, what you're going to do is finger that wheel right there. And
Oh God, I
see
love
where it
game
lands
shows.
on. Yeah.
You know, my superlative in my high school yearbook was most likely to host his own game show.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you're living out your fantasies today, pal.
Yes.
You're
so
not hosting,
excited.
you're just participating.
This is even better. I've been on many game shows, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Body Language.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Win, lose, or draw.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you ever do Family Feud?
No, damn it. But we should do it.
Let's go.
Why don't we just create a family?
Yeah.
Why don't we do it?
I'm in.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, Nashville Family.
Can you tell me the rules?
Spin it.
Oh,
Everything's in code, so it won't make sense to you.
Yeah.
But once
'cause
you land on it,
I'm looking
I
at.
will.
Can I even say what I'm reading here?
Sure.
Okay, Dragon's Breath.
Yeah.
America, Jasper Newton, Never Have I Ever. 999.
Yes.
Torzilla Slap.
Tortilla.
Oh,
Torzilla's?
Sorry, I have
there's
bad
a Z.
handwriting.
There's a Z.
Yeah, he can't.
There is a Z
He
in
can't
there.
write.
Yes,
He can't
there is
spells.
Tell me that is not a Z.
Is it
That's
a
just
Z?
a really bad I, capital I. I have bad handwriting, Stormy.
That's a Z, bro.
Damn you.
That is a Z.
All right, I'll rewrite it just for you.
Old Smoky, Wake the Dead. I don't even know the rest. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just
Pinche
gonna spin it.
pendejo.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, spin it. Ooh.
That's hypnotizing. And it lands on Old Smoky.
Old Smoky. Well, you boys enjoy.
What is that?
It's moonshine.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And then we have an initiation that every podcast guest has done.
No, I'm fine with out of the jar if you are.
Is that, it looks like mouthwash.
Yeah, this looks not
blue.
promising.
Some kind of
This
blue
is-
white lightning.
Oh, God.
God.
This reminds me of Crockett'sville.
Hey, how fitting.
So if ours came out of
Actually, it was the
radiators.
perfect landing point for us to land on.
Yeah.
Shout
I
out
remember
Destiny,
one
Kentucky.
morning that I'd crossed the fjords and I was in boots and my underwear and there were many people having breakfasts and I was like, I just finished off the moonshine.
I know. I was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Tidy
that-
whities and cowboy boots.
can only imagine
that
all the
next
things.
one morning when we were all. That's when what's his name? Oh my God, Steve Hauser's son.
Oh, he went to jail.
He went to.
A prominent agent at William Morris, his son came up to Kentucky and proceeded to light up a joint in front of the state trooper.
No, in front of underage kids.
Underage kids and then the state trooper.
Yeah.
And then was basically telling them how he was fine. And the state trooper was like, no, you're really not. You should put that out. And he didn't. And then he went to jail in Hazard.
And so
Amazing.
his nickname from here on out has been Freebird.
We got him out.
We got him out.
We got him out.
Our busted leave for another 8 hours.
No. So where is he? He's in jail.
Jeez.
You know how hard it is to go to jail at our event
I
in
was about to
Kentucky?
say, in Crockett'sville, you've got to be in Never mind.
It's like we
know.
Everybody gave him every opportunity
It's
to
like
do what he
just-
should have.
There's nothing you can do here other than what you did.
Yeah, that was it.
Did you say no to a state cop a few times, and he's finally gonna be like, okay,
Yeah.
I gotta do this.
So Freebird, I still only call him Freebird.
Bless his heart.
I can only imagine all the things you've seen, Stormy.
You too.
Probably not as much as
No,
you.
you've seen plenty.
You
Cole.
surround yourself with a lot of amazing characters.
derelicts,
I wasn't going to say it.
but it takes one to know one. So I'm not
Exactly.
taking myself out of the mix by any
Yes.
means.
Yes,
You attract them.
enjoy.
Okay, so we
Enjoy.
take a swig.
Yeah, you take a swig, and I'll take a swig, and David will just enjoy his swigging.
I'm just happy to watch you. Oh, swig. Oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we've got something to help you
Why
out
is
with
legal moonshine worse than illegal
Because
moonshine?
it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. The stuff we had,
We're not going to tell the brand, right?
no. Well, I can't, it kind of was in the name.
All right. So now,
Sorry.
Stormy,
So, here comes your TV
the
part.
true
Oh, great. My
Twangtown
DVD.
initiation. Have you ever done smelling salts before?
Yes. I've had to because I've been knocked out in football.
Well,
All right. Well, we're going to revisit the past.
The funny thing is, of course, I don't remember it because it just woke me up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now you're coherent, and we're going to do it again.
you're going to remember this.
Am I coherent?
Coherent enough.
You read minds?
So I have here a bottle of Atomic Rhino smelling salts.
What does that mean?
It's the brand. Atomic Rhino.
So these aren't just normal medicinal smelling
Oh,
salts.
they're medicinal.
Oh, this is going to free your mind.
And the rest will follow.
So I'm going to take the lid off, and
This
you're going to.
This doesn't sound pleasant
It's
at
not
all.
going to, it's
Hey,
great.
We've all done it. Nobody's died.
I love how he nodded his head back and forth no and said, no, it'll be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Just means
You're
it.
going to be just fine. Don't worry a bit.
So I'm going to take the lid off, and you're going to hold it about right here under your chin. And
Yeah.
just go. And that's
Big
it.
sniff in.
This
That's all you
sounds
do.
horrible.
Yeah. Enjoy.
This sounds horrible. Yep. I'm in ninth grade again.
Hey, welcome back to.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll wake
Smell
you
it.
up. That will wake you up.
That's it.
Welcome. Congratulations. Thank you, Stormy.
So we're going to start this podcast now?
Radio reset.
Welcome
Here we
to
go.
Twangtown with David Tolliver.
Go Mersky. Here we are.
We're here.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on
I
here.
love you guys. You guys reached out with this invitation to come on, and I just went, oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally, that's what it was. And I was like,
I've
okay.
known both you guys for a while, and this guy much, unfortunately, longer.
Yeah.
But I think the world of you guys. I love
Thank you.
Colt, I'm going to brag on you for a second. Thank you for being the ambassador for this creative arm of this industry.
Oh, of course. I love it.
It means the world to me as a fan of songwriters, and to the songwriters, as you can speak of.
Of course.
Absolutely.
This doesn't happen without people like you
Right.
that are championing what's going on.
Sure.
And so thank you for doing it. I don't know why you got into it. I don't know how. But your passion is undeniable, and you obviously love
Crazy people, yes.
dysfunctional people,
Exactly.
and you're good at it. And
thank you, man.
But thank you for waving the flag. BMI was kind enough to award me with like an ambassador award, and it's like I wish I could give it to you.
Oh, my gosh.
So
You deserve it way more. I mean, for people who don't know, like being on the inside of the business, you kind of get to see what your friends and colleagues are doing. And then someone like you, I mean, literally, like how I said, you do a lot of things for free. And that's true. I mean, you're a huge ambassador for music and songwriters, and a lot of people like yourself, I don't think they appreciate the songwriters as much because they're usually all about the artists, right?
yeah.
But I know you because like I've met you through Kyle Jacobs. And-
Wow, we never talked about that.
We don't talk about Kyle.
Well, we should.
Silly head.
But your love for songwriters and people like Kyle and David, that's how ultimately we connected. And someone like you doing that, and it's not just to songwriting. I know you do it in a lot of different arenas as well. But dude, thank you for everything you do for the music business.
Yes.
You really deserve that award.
I call Nashville a two-way street, and it's always has to be a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, look at 17th, 16th Avenue, then the way they're one ways,
Yeah.
Right.
and they're two. The one doesn't work without the other.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a two-way street on this street and in this town, and I call it the language of Nashville. And if you don't treat this town like it's a two-way street, you're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
If you come in just wanting and trying to take, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And if you have to give back to this town,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional again.
Quit it.
But it's a really powerful, important part of what I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you don't give back to the town that has given so much to you,
Sure.
why are we here?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's so many people who've done huge favors for me. And, now that I'm in the role I am, I try and do as much of that back to the younger generation because
we're
never
mentors now.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I know you're trying to wrap this up.
Not at
you're
all.
fine. You're fine.
But let's talk about that for just a second.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me talk about another platform that I'm campaigning for. We have lost the art of mentorship. You know what our mentors are now for kids? What do you think the number one mentor is for our kids?
Social media?
That's what I was
I
thinking.
was just going to pick up a phone
Yeah.
and show it to
the
you.
phone for sure. Yeah.
That's the mentors.
Yeah.
If
That's how they see the world.
that's how
Yeah.
everyone else is idiots because everything they see there is all they need,
Yeah.
Right.
and they're missing the point.
Yeah.
And so, I
Yes.
mean, they're completely missing the point. Tell me I'm wrong there.
I had a bunch of songwriters, the old school guys. When I first signed my publishing deal back in
Who's yours?
2001.
Who's your biggest guide?
Oh Jesus.
Jesus is a good one.
Yeah.
Wow, Jesus! I never met the guy.
Heard great things.
No, I had like Kelly Lovelace.
Kelly's.
Back in the
Kelly's
day.
a great one.
I had like Jesus God, what was his name?
No, you just said it again.
Jesus.
Jesus Cristo.
I had all those old guys like Bob DePiro and
Bob's
and,
good.
Bobby.
and just the guys that would, and Craig Wiseman, that would tell you how bad what you were saying was.
Craig
But-
especially.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The older guys
But-
were not afraid to slam you.
But
No.
they would also
Dean Dillon would also
Dean Dillon.
would crush you like a
But
bug.
they would tell you, they would make you a better writer in the process. Not just, I mean, Kenny Beard one time said I was terrible.
I miss him too.
Me too, dude. But it
God,
was my-
we're talking about a lot of dead people. now.
yeah.
it's
But
sad.
he was one of my first big writes. And it was
God, I
me.
love that guy.
And he was like, man, you're just not really that good yet. Basically, and would it make, but
you need to
he
hear
was
that.
like, here's what you need to do. It wasn't just a slap. It was a slap. And now here, I'm going to instruct you.
It's like on American Idol
Yeah.
when someone's shitty and their whole family's encouraging them, and it's like you're encouraging stuff that's
but
not
you're-
great.
yeah.
Not that you can't grow.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what the phone does. The phone builds you up and tells you you're right.
Yeah.
And so it says, here's what you believe. Here's your algorithm because this is what you believe. And we're only going to send you shit that you believe.
Yeah.
right.
And that's not mentorship.
It's make you feel good box.
Yeah. And it's like, that is not what life is
No.
about. I've got kids. They're 23 and 20 now. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Gosh, are they really?
I know. You met them when they were kids.
So, yeah.
You met them when they were,
Yeah.
you remember my kids when they were this big.
We had the same OBGYN.
Yeah, we have. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. She's
Yeah.
retiring this year.
Is she? Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but I agree with the mentorship. And that's what I was actually talking about this earlier with a young writer, with an older writer about a young writer. And it's like,
Can we do it part 2 right now and start it now?
no, but it's like they don't know. They don't know. They don't know what they're doing wrong because nobody would tell them that they're doing something wrong, or if they're doing something right. You know.
And it goes with parenthood too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the worst. My wife and I will be self-admittedly the worst parents that
God.
ever walked the earth because what is it? Tough times build strong kids, kids and then build great times, and great times build weak people, and the cycle continues. And we were in the cycle of our parents and their parents lived through tough times.
Yeah.
So they raised great kids, which was us, because they felt they wanted it easier. And so what have we done to our kids? Pass that forward.
We made them soft.
We made them, and I don't want to say soft. We just didn't do our jobs correctly.
Yeah.
And it was up to them to be soft or hard. And that's the one thing I want to put out there too, is that as a parent, it's okay to think that you have control over your children, but you got to listen to them. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have to listen to their voices. You have to listen to their goals. You have to listen to their wants and desires. And they're not wrong.
No.
So you just have to listen. And that's what mentorship is. And that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And in my Charlie Daniels, Kenny Rogers, I've got a long list of mentors in my life. My original program director, who brought a 13-year-old kid in to say, "You were me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to bring you in. It's important, and I don't know why that has left our kids. And so if you're a kid out there, or if you're an adult listening and a parent, and you have young kids out there, sometimes the best advice your kids are ever going to get is not from you. It's going to be from other people outside that just have a different perspective. And no dog in the hunt. They don't care. They just want to help. And that, to me, is the biggest lost art. And if we can rebuild that,
yes,
and if we can propel that, that is. Thank you for letting me go on my soapbox for a minute.
That's what this whole platform is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's truly important to me. And again, that's the third time I've gotten emotional.
And that's why.
That's why you're the king, bro.
Dude, thank you so much for being here and sharing your wonderful gift.
It's so refreshing and relieving to be on this side of the microphone.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
Oh, shit. Colt, tell them where they can find us.
Yes, we are available on all streaming platforms. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe, share, rate.
Tell your friends. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank our sponsor today, Viagra.
Viagra.
And Big 615. Checks in the mail, I heard.
Big 615.
They're coming.
Hey, Garth.
They love it.
Hey, Garth. What's up, buddy?
After what we said about them? No.
Garth, have you ever... Garth, you ever thought about sponsoring a podcast?
We didn't say anything bad about Garth.
No, Garth is a wonderful, wonderful person.
We love Garth.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Come back and see us again.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers.